Good afternoon, ladies and gents. Hope everyone is alive and kicking. It's Friday, the 9th of June. Wow, another week's gone already. God, the weeks go so quick. It's unreal, isn't it? It doesn't seem 5 minutes ago since Monday. And we're at Friday already, so yesterday's highs and lows. So, okay, I have done some trading today, not on this account. So I've traded 2 evaluations today. I tend to speed up my evaluations with 10 contracts. So I took 2 evaluations last night. One's up to $1,600, another's up to $1,100. So I'll probably just trade them now normally with the rest. I like to give them a bit of an head start. You've got to take 7 days anyway. So I took 10 contracts for there, just up to here. There was a ton of liquidity. So one's at 60. I'll drag them in. There we go. These are my 3 PAs. These are the 2 I did this morning. Well, just one's at 1,600, one's just under 1,100.
Stop ES buy.
I speed those up, I do. I just like to get them done so I can just do 1 micro a day, so that'll add 2 more to my tally at some point in the next 9 days, something like that. So, I do not know what's going on with the ES, but it just seems to be going higher and higher and higher. We forever seem to be starting with an uptrend. I mean, look at the market's climbing lovely. If you look on the daily, it's just rocketed up over the last sort of, I don't know, month maybe, something like that. It's going really nice and solid, which is good because some of my pension's in the S&P. So I'll be looking at getting that in about 15 years, something like that, 14 years, something. So starting off again with a nice trend. Now, there's liquidity up here. There's liquidity building up here. So we may get another nice day. So much nicer. I'm not a fan of trading ranges. Matt seems to love them, but I much prefer trends. They're just much easier to just wait for a second entry off the key entry point and away you go. At least we know what direction we're going in. So there you go. So, yeah, happy Friday, everybody. So we are 1 minute away from the official market open. So, JP, good morning. No, you're not the only early bird. I did see you pop up. Indy, how you doing? Good afternoon, mate. Ranwolf, how you doing, bud? Cornelius. So I like that name. That's a nice name, that. What's up, folks? Have a good day, absolutely. Timothy, good morning, good afternoon. How you doing? Groll Daddy, how you doing? Speedy, how you doing, bud? Brick, hello, Brick. Afternoon, chaps. I'm trading 2 new 25 accounts. Excellent, good for you. Use Nutty Bars code for one and Lances for the other. That's very kind of you.
Stop ES buy.
Excellent, I appreciate that, mate. Yeah, I don't mind who's you use. You know, other streamers have helped you out. Then that's fine. Use theirs. I got no problem with that. You know, it's not us and them. We're all in it together. So I got no problem with that, yeah. So, you know, you don't have to be tactful about it. I don't mind. Rodian, how you doing, buddy? So, market is officially open 8 seconds ago. So, strong liquidity building at 12. I mean, look at that. I came in here, I could have passed that evaluation in one go, actually.
Trade ES by 47. Stop ES buy. Stop ES buy.
So
Trade ES by 83.
Nice trending day. We've been spoiled lately. I've got to say, I've enjoyed
boom, hit that damn like
this
button.
Week a little bit more.
Boom, hit that damn like button.
It's been a bit more
boom,
straightforward. My patience seems to have found a nice level.
Stop and Q sell.
Where I'm quite
Stop
happy
and
sitting
Q
here.
Sell. Stop and Q sell.
Something seems to be working with me.
Stop
I do feel better,
sell.
feel more relaxed.
Stop ES sell.
So there you go. You got that bookmap audio. Let me just switch it off for you. There we go. Yeah, I did have it on earlier. There we go. It should have gone now anyway. So there we go. Can't hear you over the robot voice. Yeah, it's all right. Sorted now. Okay, so let's get us some liquidity lines up here so we know where we're aiming or lightly aiming. So there's quite a lot around this 306, 305 area, and they're buy orders, I'm assuming. A couple of legs up, and then how high do they go? So they're strong at 20, very strong here. Okay, possible second entry long would be nice. So they're strong there, strong at 9. So it's hard to see what's going on anywhere else. Strong at 12. So let's copy a few of them. Get lost. Copy, paste, copy, Paste. Okay, so there's one at 20. There's a lot around the 9 or 10, which is around here. There's some around 12, which is around here. There's some around 15, which is here. And there's a chunk around 20, which is up here. So this is telling me it's lightly dragging us up, I'd say. So possible second entry long. Let me just yank this to the side. This is going to fry my brain otherwise. It might be better to move it over actually. Okay, second entry long. Not a fan of that because there's a lot around the 6. Could come down a bit. Bar's a bit naff anyway, so. There we go. If you shove them to the side a bit, they're not going to bother us too much. So it was a second entry long, but it's a little bit floating in the sky at the moment, isn't it? There's probably a bit of a range going on there, so let's do that. So I expect it to come down a bit, really. Okay, new high. You could recount that one or count it. So we can break out the bottom somewhere. Let's have a look. There's a lot around the 3536. There's a lot of buying around here. So if we can break out that bottom, so I'll be thinking about going long there. So if we can get a decent setup, so we're on the limit. So
order submitted.
Order ready just in case. Yeah. So one leg down. If you get another leg down, now this can probably be adjusted slightly. So we're still okay. Touch, touch. It's close enough. One leg down, 2 legs down. Now I've got to be careful here. I'm not a fan of taking this first dip. I tend to like the higher low just in case. Lots of liquidity around. Loads of buy-in around this area here. So I'd rather get the higher low. And what I might do is run it up for a few more points. What I'm going to try doing, because I tend to go between 2 and 4 points, but I've been going for 2 points a lot lately. But in these trending days, I'm going to try and go for a bit more, maybe 4. And if it gets close to 4, what I'll probably do is drag my profit up and then bring my stop to 2 points effectively, scalping me 2 points and giving me a bit of a runner. So, okay, 1 leg down, 2 legs down. So I'm not a fan of that, just in case, because there's a lot of liquidity at 3, so it may break down past there. It's a doji, that is. Don't chase it now. How you doing, Harjit? How you, Tyler? Good morning, Sam. How you doing? SW Blaze. How you doing, Ramwolf? That's where we've got to, isn't it? Yeah, I'm not a fan of these at the moment. Okay, clearly bouncing off there. Yeah, it was a bit of a doji. There is a lot of liquidity around about the 5, a lot of buy-in, which tells me it may come down to here, which would break that low anyway. So let me just have a check. Strong around the 5 to 3. So 3's here. 5's there, so strong around this area, which tells me we may have a leg and another leg. Let's have a look. Don't chase it now. Yeah, we're all good. Let's look back a few days. There is a trend line there at the top. I can't get back that. Are you on about here? Trend line. You're on about here somewhere. I can't go back any further because I deleted my cache, so it deleted a lot of them. But to be honest with you, there's strong liquidity here, and it's pulling. There's a lot around the 8 to 11, but there's a lot around here, which tells me we may have a leg sideways followed by a leg. So if we can break down here and then push up for a higher low. Let me just see if this channel, yeah, we've gone right from the very lows. There's nowhere else we can, how else we can draw that really. Hey man, hope you're well. I am well, hope you're well as well, bud. I got to get that name right. Once I've said it a bunch of times, it'll stick. Al-Harath. Hope I got that right. I haven't murdered it. If I have, I apologise. Right, liquidity. Strong. Loads of buying around about the 4. The average area is 4, which is around about here. But as low as 3. So there. So I'm not interested really unless it pushes down. Unless it pushes out and obviously starts again moving. But we've had a break. The highest liquidity is still up here. So even though we've had a break, we still may go a bit higher. Lots of liquidity around the 8 to 9. Lots of sell around about the 8 to 9 area. So perfectly said. Excellent. I'm sure you're just being nice. I'm not good with names, so that could probably come down a fraction more. Beautiful. Touch, 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 touch. Excellent. Okay, let's see how we go on today. I did have a... I hit 1,000 subscribers yesterday, and I had an email from YouTube with an infringement thing on it, an infringement, what's it on it, for the music that gets played when I start. So whether that's another streamer or another YouTuber, I'd having a dig, I don't know, but fortunately that music is available on Canva, so it's all licensed and all that. So I don't know who it was, but it's weird. Just as I hit 1,000 subscribers where you can get monetized, I get one of those. So someone's obviously put something in. So I don't know who it is. Okay, so we seem. Let's have a look. Now, there's still some liquidity below here, so I'm leaving alone here. As bearish as that is, congratulations. Thank you, SW. I appreciate that, mate. Sorry. 2 last hijack. Oh, I got you. Yeah. I think we're out of that, aren't we, anyway? Okay, so it is pushing up. Let's have a look. Okay, I didn't see that coming. Oh, right, okay. Masses of aggressive buyers buying that. So, yeah, we usually go sideways then when we get a big bullish bar. But to be honest with you, because of this liquidity down here, that's what made me a bit nervous. Now, I'd rather be on the error side of cautious, that's fine. But I don't want to really be buying there just in case it pops back because I'm aware of this liquidity. So 12.13, it's strong, so it's hit this. And it's hit this just about. Where's 10? It's hit 10. The highest I can see at the moment is up to 20, so it's pushing up nice. Now I'm just wondering whether we can adjust this. It does fit nice, so I'm probably best to leave it, but I was just thinking because of the whether it will be something like, oh no. It's hard to say actually. It may be touching nice at the back, touching there. Yeah, okay, so I think that's okay. But what I think is sensible, the reason I'm saying that is because there's still lots of liquidity. So it might be better just to err on the side of caution just at the moment, and let's say touch, break. Okay, let me have a look. You can appeal it. Yeah, it just says if there's no issues, don't worry about it. It's not asking me to do anything. I mean, it's free with Canva anyway, so it's not a problem. But it's said you don't have to do anything, so I don't know. But it is a guy's song, but he's obviously sold it to Canva. So there we go. Just passed another 50 eval. Good for you, mate. Good on your Odeon. Indeed, got my points on that. Happy weekend. Happy green weekend. Yeah, it's always nice, isn't it? Yeah, I left it because of this liquidity down here, and it just made me a bit nervous. Although, you know, I mean, we see this all the time. It goes sideways, sideways, sideways till we get a nice looking bar right at the key entry point, which it is really. And then off it goes. I'm just trying to be a bit extra cautious lately, and it's paying off. So, in fact, I think that looks a bit better personally. I don't know. We'll see what happens anyway, see if it keeps going up. But liquidity is popping up here, and everywhere. Let's have a look. It's at 11, which is there. It's at 14, which is there. And there's more 17, 18, 20. It's going up here. So I would say it's probably likely going to continue for now, for the time being. So who have I missed? Let's have a look and dig up my points. K-Tan, how you doing? Now we have a gap. Sunny SPY, as told yesterday, it is bullish. Yeah. If I missed, let's have a look. Nice one, Andy. Trend line fits better, a little fatter. Yeah, I think so. We're touching there. That's close enough. It doesn't necessarily have to come back to the trend channel. I mean, it's obviously come back to the EMA, and if it's bullish enough, it might not come back. But we've touched a bunch of times there, and the way it's pushing up, and the way this liquidity is appearing up here, it's getting thicker and thicker. It's telling me that the wider fit's okay. And it fits nice at the top anyway, so I'm okay with that. So let's have a look. Let's see whether that might work. I'll leave it for now. Yeah, that's the trouble sometimes when it has a breakout. In some cases it's a breakout, and in some cases it's just a wider channel. And now we're in this wider channel. That does look nice, doesn't it? And not just that, we've had 1, 2, 3 touches there, haven't we? So it's a triple test really, isn't it? And people may call that a doji. It's not actually. What a doji really is, it's when it's right in the middle, but it's another tick higher, and that would almost be on its high. So that one there, sorry. 1 tick higher, and that'd be bullish, and we've come down, we bounced once, twice, 3 times, and look at that, right at the key entry point. So there we go, and it just went up. If I'd have had mine a bit wider, I may have gone for that because it was a tiny risk. Low and high, it was a point. But if you leave that one, then obviously that's the better one to take, isn't it? We're off and running then. So, liquidity 12 down here. There's buy in there. 11 and 12, so we may come back here a little bit. What we got up here? 14. There's liquidity there. And 17 up here. And then 18, 19, 20 here. And around about up as far as here at the moment, but it does keep appearing, and I'm assuming really if you did enter somewhere here, they're just people dragging their profits up. Because it's not the type of market you really want to get into selling at the moment, really, is it? So let's see if we can get some sort of entry. Unfortunately, by the time we do make it wider and get it looking like a nice trend, it's already gone a chunk, isn't it? Yeah, I went in here, I did on those evals. And I passed them both, look. Oh, yeah. What have you put? Afternoon, pal. What package should I try with Apex? 4 contracts. What package should I try with Apex? 4 contracts or 10 for your first time? I'm assuming you're talking about evaluations. If it's your first time, my honest opinion, I would just stick to 1. If it's your first one, because you're probably going to blow it, and you will blow a bunch. So if you're going to blow them, blow 1 at a time. It just gets too expensive otherwise. So my honest opinion is just get 1 and get the $50,000 one, because it's by far the easiest possible second entry long off the entry point. It's by far the easiest to pass. It's a little bit congested there. Let me have a look. There's lots of buying around 11. Yeah, if it's your first one, don't spend a lot, because it is going to cost you money. Keep your spending to a minimum because you can be sensible about it. I wasn't. But if it's your first one, don't get any more than one. Just get one $50,000 and leave it at that. If you can make one of them pay, then you can start adding to them. But that's just my opinion, because it can get expensive otherwise, and there's nothing worse than fighting a battle of money. Let's have a look. Okay, 11. 10, 11. There's some strong liquidity there. So possible second entry long there, but I prefer to get closer to that EMA, really. That's better. One leg, two legs. So if we can push, I prefer to push down a little bit. Pick up them. See, there is some buying again at 307, which is down here. No good for me, that one. Did it touch 43.16? I don't think it did. 43.16 is there. No, it hasn't yet. Liquidity is strong at 15. Quite a bullish bar there, but not much room to the highs. But there is quite a lot of selling buying around here, so just something about that I don't like. It might probably push up, but it's not for me, that one. So going from 17 to 20 is the current highest liquidity that I can see. So let's have a look. Not a massive amount higher, which is why this is making me a bit nervous. It's a little bit congested, and you know, I'd say you can consider that a break. It's touch. We've gone from here. It's close enough there. It's touched a bunch of times there. I'll consider that a little bit of a break. But I don't really want to go long there with all this liquidity down here, just in case. I'm a bit nervous about it. And there's not much more liquidity above here, so we're running out of, you know, people can obviously move them, but J13 Road, you know, what's he said to you? I'm up to 7 PAs. I mean, you can do as many as you want, but if what you're saying is it's your first evaluation, my honest opinion is just do one. Because if you blow it, you've blown $33. But if you get a lot of them now, if it's your first PA, then I'd say again, just do one. All I ever did was one PA and one evaluation at a time until I got a $2,000 payment. Then I started upping it a little bit, but it's up to you, of course. Yeah. But yeah, it's up to you, bud. It's up to you. But you know, if you're quite new or something, you know, if that's where you're coming from. Okay, there's quite a nice big bullish bar there, but look, we're at the tops. There is liquidity at 20, but I don't really want to be along there just in case, because we've had a break. If we push up and tick there and then come down there and pick up some more of these buys, I'm going to kick myself. So I'm just not interested at the moment. It's making me a bit nervous, that lot. See, we're at the high of the, well, month, I think, there. So it's hard to know what to do there. What you want to do, Sam, is go back over your charts. What I suggest you do at the end of every day, you might do it anyway, is just right click and then click save chart image. I save all mine, and what I do is go back over all my trades and work out how many points they gave me. So you just mentioned trading 4 ticks. Now I know even people like Daniel and Marco now go up to 6 ticks. I think people are trading more and more. I think it's tough going personally trading 1 point. Now, if you're Mac and you're trading 15 1-point scalps and 5 runners, and he'll make much more from his runners, then that might be a different story. But I think it's hard unless you're really good to make money out of 1 point. That's my personal opinion. And what I did is I went back over Daniel's charts for 2 weeks. We're going back about a year and a bit ago. And he'd marked about 34 trades, and every single one of them hit 2 points or more. Every one of them out of the 30-odd trades. So going from 1 point to 2 for me was a no-brainer. You're doubling your profit. But that's just my opinion. I think it's hard going. You get a quite high ATR. Let's say you get an ATR 3.5. You get a slightly bigger bar, tick above, tick below. You could blow 4 points. So if you win 4 trades, 1 point trades, and you lose, 3 3/4 on one trade with taking out your fees, you're in the red. And you've taken 5 trades with 4 winners and you're in the red. That for me was heartbreaking, which is why I decided to go to 2 points. I saw more and more people were growing, taking more and more profits. Because there's so much left on the table if you took that bar there. I mean, look at it. You took that bar there, look at it. Look back on your charts, make the decision for yourself. And if you can see you took 10 or 15 trades over the last 2 weeks, and make sure they're the good trades, not the trades that went bad anyway, and just check how many points you'd have made. And I think you'll be shocked. I think you'll be shocked how many points make at least 2. So that's just my opinion. But I want you to try and make as much as you can, and try not to get deterred so much, because there's nothing worse than working your ass off and getting 4 winning trades and losing your 5th and ending up in the red. It's just heartbreaking. I know Max says 1 point and all this. It's just what he's always done. But if you can afford to trade 20 contracts and have 15 contracts on a 1 point scalp and get most of your money from your 5 contracts, then it's a bit easy to do. But unless you trade, in my opinion, unless you trade in 4 or more contracts, no point in having a runner. I wouldn't have a runner with, I think I'd have to trade 3 contracts and then a runner from there upwards, really. But most of us don't have the luxury of trading that much, maybe a contract or 2, and it's just not worth having a runner. And I think Mac will tell you, really, and don't, only use about 20% of your contract size on your runners. Well, in that case, you need to be trading a minimum of 5 contracts. So that's just my 2 cents, it's up to you, but I'm just telling you what worked for me. And I do know more and more people are trading for more and more now. The gorilla guy, the penguin guy, they go for minimum 1-to-1. In a lot of cases, 2-to-1. I know the gorilla guy goes for a minimum of 6 points. So if I take a trade for 2 points, he takes a trade for 6 points, you could afford to lose a lot more and make more money. And occasionally you get a decent runner, but with the way he's developed it, he knows the ones to stretch out a little bit and that. But that's just my opinion. It's what works for me. I do like that trade. I wish I'd have taken it now. I was thinking that too. Yeah, but don't take my word for it, mate. Go back, look at some of the charts on the Facebook group. Just work out how many points the good trades would have taken. I wouldn't look at Mac's chart, because a lot of his trades are based on taking 1 point. And a lot of his trades, he marks 20 trades sometimes. You wouldn't trade that many because you just wait for the good ones. But the good ones easily make the 2 points. But obviously, if you're trading in a 4-point range from top to bottom, then, maybe you don't want to be doing 2 points, So we'll see. Okay, so we've had a break here and we've had 2 pushes up to a new high. Now, are we going to continue up? It's possible. We'll see. And Gorilla Guy and Penguin go for more better psychology. Yeah, you've got to have a bit more better psychology, especially with the Gorilla Guy, because I've seen him take 3 trades. The first 2 were losers, and the third one he lost 5 points, and he got 9 points off his third. So, once you start getting above 2 and 3 points, mainly 4 points, I would say, you are going to lose a few more. But I think you're probably going to make more money in the long run. But obviously there is a psychological impact. Now, if you've been trading 5 years and things don't bother you anymore, you're making a ton of money, then you may want to stretch it a little bit. But that'll come with time anyway. You'll know once you start getting used to reading these markets, you'll start to really understand them inside and out. I have days where I just seem to know what's going on, and I took that. Where was it? That one there for, on an evaluation. And I was umming and ahhing whether to come out here, but look. So, you know, let's have a look. Short 21.18 at your own risk. 21.18 here. Yeah, liquidity is slowing down over here, so we may have a bit of a pullback. But we have had a break and a few pushes up. We've made a new high, so it's hard to know what's going on here, but there is liquidity here, some more buy-in here. There is buying around the 14, which is about here. That's out the scale now. So this is the top of the line at the moment. This is where the most liquidity is. It feathers off up there, so this may be the top for a while. We may come down a little bit. 43.18. 43.18, yeah. So this is where Harjit's mentioning it, 43.18. So yeah, so basically short in that one. There is liquidity at 14, so I certainly think you get a couple of few points out of that if you shorted that one. Where are we now? So it's gone down 2.25. But we have had this break. I can't adjust that anymore without it clearly not fitting. It's fitting along the backside nice. Touching here, close enough here, finishing nice here. Break, pushing up. But it may come down a couple of legs and push up some more. It's hard to say. 41.98. What is that? 41.98. Excellent move. Hope you remember given breakout levels. So if this does come down and pick this up, that'll be 2 legs down. So then it's hard to know, isn't it? There is a lot of liquidity over there. Market does seem like, when I'm looking at Bookmap, it does seem like it's squeezing it up. Yeah, the strongest area of buy-in is here, and there is some more at 8. So whether that lump at 8, I'd say possibly take profit levels for shorting, possibly. Or we've had this leg up, maybe pull back to here and push up some more. It's hard to say, really. It's hard to say whether these take profit areas, or I'd say likely this may be an area where people are buying to go a bit higher. But that might be an area where some shorts. Okay, so that did work. So Harjit, your tally now is 5-0. Is that right? Or is it 6-0? Sorry, my fault. It's 6-0. So Harjit's given us 6 trades, and they've all made at least 3 points. Let's have a look. Yeah. Well, yeah. At least. Well, let's say at least 2 points to be on the safe side. At least. Actually, quite likely more in some cases. Let's go. Now, when Harjit says let's go, usually the market falls out the bottom. So we'll see. So we've got a new high here. Try to go once, try to go twice. Failure. And now we have had a break and 2 pushes up. So maybe we are making a bit of a pullback somewhere around the middle. I can't go short there really until it breaks below this EMA really. I'm aware that there is some liquidity here, so there is a possibility we can push higher. I think we may do, but I'm not sure. I'm late to the team. Can you go over how you did your eval earlier? Okay, when I do my evaluations, I like to get them done. But you are going to blow more, so what I tend to do on my evaluations, I go for the maximum of 10 points, and I try and get 2 points. And if you get 3 2-point trades and 1 extra tick, or a couple of extra ticks during those, you'll pass your evaluation. Hey Chris, how you doing, buddy? You'll pass your evaluation, but not everyone does it that way. I know quite a few traders do. Let's just get rid of that.
Order
I like
canceled.
to get them done out of the way. So I traded them individually, and I got $1,600 on one and just under $1,100 on another. I took it there. I could see loads of liquidity up here. So if you do 10 contracts and put a profit target for 6 points and 1 tick, you'll pass it, and you'll have enough in the bank to do a micro a day for the remaining 6 days. Now, not everybody does it that way. I do, because if they're only costing me the equivalent of 25 UK pounds, not a lot really, I like to just get them done. Then I can concentrate on just my PAs. But not everybody does it that way. Some people might disagree with the way I do it, but I just like to get them done. So yeah, I trade the full 10 contracts. So every point you get, every 2 points you get will make you $1,000 minus fees. So theoretically, 6 points and a tick, or a couple of ticks if you're trading them over 3 trades. But obviously, you want to really get into when we're having a nice trend and we come back to the key entry point. You can get it in one go, but that's entirely up to you. That's how I do it, but it's not how everybody does it. Okay, so we're clearly now we've had this break and we've had a push up, so we've had another break. So I'm just wondering whether not sure. I like to get them done because I don't want to spend 10 days and end up making a bad decision on day 10. I'd rather get them done. I'm not sure about that. I think it's probably best to leave it for now because the top level liquidity is here. So we've had a break. Whether you call that a break or not, this is certainly a break. But this is the top of the line at the moment. Now, whether it'll start to appear further up, 30% rule only applies on PAs. Correct. Do what you want on an evaluation. Mind you, having said that, I've taken a payment on a PA account and I got $2,300 one day. I went a bit stupid. I got $2,300 and I got the account up to about 3.5 and they still paid me. But I wouldn't suggest it. I went on tilt a bit. It was maybe end of February. I went for a real bad stage, but they still paid me. Now, if I had 10 accounts, then maybe it might be a bit different. But yeah, in my honest opinion, when you get your PA accounts, trade them very carefully, 1-2 trades a day max, something like that. And I've had to learn to do that because I've tried to rush, tried to be too greedy. And the trouble is, if you go for more points, which I've tried to do, you are going to have more losses. And if you're struggling with the psychological side, it might not be the best method to choose. Now, if you're 10 years down the line and you know that you've made money every month and you can make money, and once you make consistent money, then, I'm guessing then you're going to have full belief in yourself. If you've made money every month for the last 6 to 12 months and good money, you can obviously trade. You can't make money every month for 12 months, good consistent gains, and not know what you're doing. It just won't happen. So, once you get to that level, you'll know you can trade. So if you want to adjust things and try and make a little bit extra money, maybe have a go, split your accounts up and trade a little bit more or swing a little bit more, then you can do whatever you want, can't you? That's the thing about trading. There's no rules. You can make your own up if you think it's something that's working for you. Sorry if you can hear some whining. It's my little lad Wilson trying to get in the door. When I say my lad, my little pup. When I say pup, he's about 4, 5. Cockapoo. He seems to whine outside the door sometimes. Okay. Now maybe this is a less steep channel. So liquidity is starting to appear now up here. So Yeah, I don't think I can adjust this. I'd say there's probably a less steep channel going on there. Let's just draw it from there for now. What the hell? Oh, wrong one. Maybe from there, possibly. Possible, maybe just from there actually. I'm going to drag this down out of the way a bit. It's a bit confusing. Okay, so it's hard to say. I think it possibly is something like that. We touched here, touching really nice at the top. See what happens. So liquidity now 22. So we are starting to move up. Let me just yeah, if you do trade for your full 10 contracts, market goes against your 6 contracts, you've blown your account. So, you know, I tend to get them on a 50-50 strike rate. I do. I'll blow every other one, but I don't mind. You know, it's about £23 UK money, which isn't a lot of money really, in my opinion. I like to get them done. I do so. But once I get them to about 1,500, maybe 2,000, then I may just trade them along with my other accounts, which I'm doing now. But I'm trading them at 4 contracts because I've still got 6 days to get them done. So I don't know what that was. Okay, so 20, 22, 25 is our highest at the moment. So just because it's not there now doesn't mean people aren't dragging. It's quite likely, yeah, you're not necessarily going to look to short here, are you, when the market's going up strongly? But what you will be moving up is your profit. So 22 and 25. So there's 22. There's 25. So these are areas where I'd expect to reach. And they're growing all the time. Some buying around about here. We'll see. Apex is awesome because I never trade multiple accounts, but I consistently get 1 to 200 a day on my own PA. If I even work up to 5 accounts, that's £5 a month. Yep. Yep. Safely withdraw, that's ridiculous. Tyler, you can earn a ton of money. The trouble is, and that's affected me with all the stories about, you know, if you go on to look at the payouts on Apex, I think the biggest one was $800,000 in a month. Vince, his name is. So if you've got 20 accounts and you're trading 2 contracts, let's say 2 contracts and you go for a 1-2 point trade a day, that's $1,000 a month. That's $4,000. Sorry, $4,000 a month. Now, let's say for argument's sake, you lose a couple. You lose $1,000, say. Some days you might have 2 trades. Let's say you get $1,000 a week. On average, that's $4,000 a month. 10 accounts, $40,000 a month. 20 accounts, is that right? $80,000 a month? The potential's there. But the thought of that money makes you do strange things. And I have tried to cut so many corners. I only cut corners now on my evals because I know if I blow an eval, it's not a major issue. If I blow a PA account, I've spent 7 days and paid $140, so I don't want to waste them, but I don't mind taking a bit of a risk on the evaluations to get them done. Yeah, like Moo. The trouble is, Moo had 20 accounts, and it's all good and well having 20 accounts, but if you've never made any of them pay, it's a lot of money to risk. If you're paying $140 per account, that's $2,800. That's without the evaluations. It's a lot of money to blow, which is why I'm stepping up the ladder. I stuck at 1 contract, so 1 account, until I'd had a couple of payments, and then I started it to grow. I'm only up to 3 now, and I've had a withdrawal, which I'll get next week. That's another $2,000 payment. I dare say I'll have one next month. You could even have one every fortnight. People think you can only take $2,000 out a month. You can't. You can take 2 lots of $2,000 a month from Apex. But it's only classed as one monthly payment. You've got to trade for 3 months. But you can take two $2,000 payments in a month out of Apex. Not everybody knows that, but you can. As long as you've done 10 days trading between each. But yeah, you want to start making some pay before you start investing a lot of money. I'm going one account at a time over four PAs, open another. Yeah. I'd say if you can manage to get a payment or a couple of payments, then I think maybe then start to grow. Go up to a few PA accounts. And then if you can get another payment or 2, then go up to 5. As long as you're getting some money in to reinvest. But if you've never made any money, all of a sudden going into 20 contracts, 20 accounts, is a lot to lose potentially. You count your evaluations and your one-off payments, you're looking at over $3,000, and that's a lot to blow. I use the 25 and take 1,000 every 10 days. Perfect. I would say stick to the 50s and 25s. They're by far the easiest to pass. Personally, I don't see the point of $300,000. You can trade 10 you've still got to build the money up. You can trade up to 10 contracts on a $50,000 PA. You're never going to trade more than 10 contracts. You've got 10 accounts and you're trading 10 contracts per account. You can make a huge amount of money. You've got to have a reasonably sized bank balance within those accounts before you start moving up to 10 contracts. But that's a lot to take. That's a lot to trade. Does it need to be a credit card or is it debit card from the UK? No, I've paid. What I tend to do is pay my evaluations on my credit card, and then I pay my credit card off. I get a percentage on my credit card, 1%, 0.5%, something like that. But yeah, I tend to do that. Just stick them on my credit card and then pay them off at the end of the month. Now I get some as affiliate links, so that comfortably covers my any of my trading losses. So I'm a bit lucky there. Let's have a look. 23 liquidity is unfortunately really we push down, then we go sideways. You may have taken that one. That was sort of when we pushed up really, but it is still starting to appear, and I'm assuming as long as price continues up, people are going to keep moving their profits and moving their stops and securing. Now there is liquidity at 10, so that just 10 there. So if you're going down here or something, that might be where you're putting your stop, and then you might periodically drag it up. There's some 17, so there's a lot of buy orders there. There could be stops, to be fair. 17, so you might be moving your stop up. Yeah, no, you can use credit cards, bud. No problem. But if you're from the UK, what I would suggest, I've got a Revolut. If you're in the UK or the US, it doesn't really matter in the US. You've not got a problem with exchange rates. But if you're in the UK, you get paid in dollars, so it'll go into your deal account. Now, if it gets paid into your account, say for instance Barclays, they'll charge you 3%. So if you withdraw $2,000, which is about, I don't know, 1,600, 1,500 quid, you'll pay 3% on that. Whereas if you have the Revolut account and you opt for the $12.99 a month, you get unlimited currency exchange at market rates. So you won't pay any fee. You pay 1% on weekends, but Monday to Friday, it's free. So if you're averaging even $1,000 a month on average, you're going to be more than saving. So it's a better option, that is. And I have mine to go straight from my deal account straight into my Revolut, and then I can put it straight to my bank or use it straight out of Revolut. I tend to have my Revolut, my bank accounts on my iPhone now. I don't tend to take a wallet out as much. I'll just take a phone out. You can pay for everything on the phone, can't you? Make calls, everything. So, but yeah, it's much better because you've got to think about that. If you're in the UK, you're going to pay exchange rates, and banks will charge you 3%. Yeah, so if you exchange $2,000, you're going to be paying about £60. That's a payment I don't pay with Revolut, but it cost me $12.99 a month. So, you know, if I withdraw $2,000, what I save pays for my Revolut for 5 months. And the Revolut is a nice posh steel card, so you've got the cool factor as well. So I do like Revolut. I also buy a few cryptos on Revolut. You can buy stocks. There's all sorts of stuff you can do. Mainstream banks are going to disappear, in my opinion. They're going to have to change their ways. Banking system, certainly the UK banking system, is the biggest con known to man. We all stick our billions and billions in there. We get nothing for it. They invest it, trade it, whatever they do, make a shitload of money, and we get nothing for it. So I like to put my money other places where I can start to get some value. I've been binging on Max Vids till 4 a.m. this morning. What I like to do is to go back over the basics sometimes because, you know, we all pick up bad habits, and that's what I've been doing recently, going back over some of Max. It's always good to go back over the basics, I think. Because sometimes it'd be surprising what you miss. And we're all sort of self-taught, really, so we learn different things at different times, and sometimes you'll have a little gap in your knowledge. And sometimes you can reread something and you know, you get the aha moment. Yeah, I've got the Revolut Gold card. Looks very posh. And the thing I like about the steel cards is, you know what normal plastic bank cards are like when they've been stuck in your wallet for months and months. They all split, don't they? You won't get that. I had a few £100 in crypto.com, and you get something called a Ruby Steel one there, where I got 2% on all purchases, and that was a nice red steel card, and I had that in my wallet. My wife had it in her bag, and that got battered. It scraped the ice off the window of the car for a whole winter, and the card looks as good as new. You can't beat steel. They just last. Plastic, you know, being stuck in your wallet, no good. That's dies by a gunshot wound suicide tomorrow. Where you been on? Did you have a nice birthday, mate? Did you? I did think of you last night. It's my wife's tomorrow, actually. I've been out doing a bit of shopping for her today. Okay, there's that last lump of liquidity. Now, as I said earlier, it is starting to develop higher and higher up around about here. So unfortunately, you may have took that one. I'd have probably wait for a higher low, but there's nothing really there. You may have took that one. Clearly going a bit sideways, clear respecting that line, but can't take that one. Don't mess with those big banks. Maybe 100 years ago you'd disappear, wouldn't you, for saying stuff like that? But you know, done for the day. Went from -800 to +200. Excellent. If you can do that, disappear quick. If you can get your money back and a little bit more, that's the time to disappear. Don't push your luck. Yeah, it's a good call, that is. Going into the weekend green is a useful thing, because if you're red or you're frustrated, you're going to suffer with the whole weekend. So if I can get one trade today, I'm going to disappear early. But yeah, I do seem to have hit a nice level at the moment. Yeah, low-key night. Thanks for asking. No worries, mate. You're 30 now, so you're getting old, aren't you? Gone are the days where you're going out till late in the, early hours of the morning. I'm in bed at 10 o'clock at night now with a pizza. I am. If I go out, I haven't got the legs anymore for the early hours. I passed my challenge, so I'm done till Monday. Good for you, Ryan. It's always nice to go into the weekend on a positive note. You can relax then, can't you? If you've had a bad day, usually the weekend starts with a load of drink and ends in a hangover. Shut down the computer and throw away the keyboard. Yeah, I even considered getting my wife to cut the plug off item. But it's sealed, so I can't re-put the plug in. To be honest with you, I'm quite happy going away on a 0 day as well, actually, because it's a good lesson for me, because I've struggled so much with patience. So whether I have a green day or a 0 day, I'm all right with both, really. As long as there isn't any setups. I am gutted I missed that high low yesterday, because that was a nice trade, that was. I gave it a little bit to move, and it just went off. It was such a good trade. See, everyone jumps on them and they just go. Sometimes I don't trade Fridays just so I don't go into the weekend with bad vibes. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. One thing I'm learning is slow down. Don't rush. Don't try and make too much too quick. Be prepared to take no trades or one trade a day. But it was always 3, 4, 5 or 6 trades for me. And if something went wrong, I'd stay longer and I'd try and get it back. Now, I'm starting to get used to the fact that sometimes you have to, if you are down, you have to accept that sometimes it's going to happen. You can't have green days every day. You are going to have red days from time to time, and it's learning to accept them. And I've had such a battle with those, but it's a battle I feel I'm starting to win. Was it Tuesday? I was down about $400, and I found it so hard to stay away from the computer. I just had that real strong desire to get my money back, and in the end I managed to stay away, and by the end of the evening I'd relaxed and I was okay with it. And then the following day I came back with it, nice and fresh, feeling really good. I used to take 100 micro scalps a day. 100 micro scalps. The trouble is with micros is the commissions are high. But yeah, I know what you mean. I've taken dozens and dozens of trades in the past. Okay, so let's have a look. Where's this liquidity areas? There is some at 21, so that might be a bit of a pullback to this. There's some at 24, 25. So let's put the earliest bit in around about here. So that could be a hidden second entry long. Okay, so it's picked up them orders. There's some more at 20, so I prefer to hit those 19 and 20. I suppose they're there maybe just in case we do get a dropout. Do you use any bigger time frames? I did try using the 10,000 tick chart, and I stopped in the end. I found sometimes, I don't know, it just didn't feel like it really helped me. But some people swear by it. You got 2 points off that short. Yeah. Yeah, you got to be careful with ones like that. See, especially in this big uptrend. Trouble is, you don't know when it's going to tick down, is it? If you are taking small amounts, maybe a point, you're probably get away with it. But yeah, Mac does mention about counter trend trades. You can get stuck. But having said that, I did see Marco. He posted one of his trades, and he actually took a short at the top of it was a trend like this, and he took a short. Now, when you think about it, if we're clearly in a channel, when we're at the top of the channel, it's not a place to buy, is it? It's only a place to sell. So in a strange way, it sort of makes sense back to the EMA, doesn't it? And Marco only trades 6 ticks, so it's not a lot of distance to cover. So if you know what you're doing, you know, like I say, there's no rules. You can do what you want, really. I mean, there's these rules that Matt calls the rules, but you know, it's down to you whether you want to stick with them. But I don't counter trend trade now at all, and it usually takes a lot for me to trade in the other direction. I want to see, you know, proper movement that we are going. Okay, so clearly using that area. Let me have a look. Yeah. So you could say that's a. Where's this liquidity? See, I've got to be careful now. See, this is times like this sometimes where I can think I'll have a go. But if you look, we got exactly the same thing there. It starts to go, doesn't it? So it's a hidden second entry long. See if we can get a higher low. Otherwise, I'm staying out. But when it does come back to here, the momentum shifts, doesn't it? And it starts to struggle a bit. Exactly the same there, and then off it goes again. Just signed up Apex using your code. Much appreciated, mate. But as I said, don't take too many in initially, because if you're going to blow them, and you are using a trade copier, and you're just copying bad trades, unless you're trading them individually. Yeah, see, that's why I didn't jump into that trade, just in case. Because there is this liquidity, which means we could have a leg and a leg. I'm not saying we're going to, but we may. May have a leg like that and a leg like that. Where is it? It's around about the 19 to 20. Let's put it in the middle, about there. And funnily enough, look where that leg is. I'm not saying it's going to come down there, but it could. It's the time it tanks and breaks the channel. Yeah, I don't think it will, mate. There's not. It moves towards liquidity, and all the liquidity at the moment is much stronger up here. There is bits here. There's some around here, but not a lot. But yeah, you do have to take into consideration the aggressive buyers and sellers. They can move the markets just as much as the you know, the stops or take profit levels wherever they are. But it does seem like a strong trending day so far. What have we got up? We've come up 40 points relatively, you know, relatively easy without any. See, look at that. It hasn't come back. That's strong, that, isn't it? Strong buying. Uh, 25 is nice and strong, so if maybe we can get a come back a bit and get another push off here, higher low. And I may be interested in that. But I'm starting to learn now that just sit there until you take a great setup. Some days you might sit there for 3 hours, but ultimately, it's the only way you make it. It's just waiting for good setups. Anything half-hearted or a bit poor, just leave it. It's not worth it. Much better to do one good trade than 3 average ones, because if you win one and you lose one and you win one, you've got less money than if you just win one, taking out your with your fees. Better to just do one trade than 3 with a loser. Okay, there's that liquidity. Let's just push in there. Don't know what trade crop it is, only evaluations. Right, okay, yeah. So you were talking about multiple ones. You need a trade copier to trade any more than one. And there's 2 available. You've got Apex's own and you've got Replicanto. Now, my honest opinion, they're both the same price, although I can get you a discount on the Replicanto one. But Replicanto is owned and operated by a company called Flowbots, and they're actually a software company who specialise in trading software, and you get regular updates. So in my opinion, it's better and it's more stable. But it's up to you. But I would probably leave that for a time. I would get an account to pay first before you start trading multiple ones. Yeah, Artie, don't use the Apex one. Yeah, I've had more problems with the Apex one. I prefer the, well, it makes sense, doesn't it? An actual company that make trading software as opposed to a funding company that just use it as an add-on. So yeah, but you can. I have got a 10% off discount if you ever do decide to purchase it. But I would stick to your one for now, or trade them one at a time and try and get one to pay. And they don't support it. Yeah, if you contact them with a problem, they're not interested. They just say it's unsupported. Whereas Flowbots, it's different. Okay, so there's a higher low there, but it's just clearly away from the key entry point, and we're at the highs anyway, so it's just too dangerous taking up there. They always say it's, yeah, exactly. If you don't buy a washing machine, do you, for £500, and if something goes wrong with it, you go to the shop, they say, sorry mate, not our problem. It doesn't work that way. If you sell something, you've got to back it up. You've got to give it some sort of a guarantee or a warranty that it's going to operate correctly. You know, I understand if they're selling it for $50, but it's the same price as the Replicanto one. But what I have found, just a useful point, since I've gone from using market orders to limit orders, things trigger better. So, for instance, if I drop a market order, you know, sometimes if you drop a normal market order in here, you know, one tick above here, sometimes as you drop it, it hits it and it kicks it off. Well, sometimes it can trigger one of them and kick the rest off, and you might be unaware of that. Whereas if you drop a limit order there, if it hits it, it'll either, if it doesn't trigger them all, it'll still stay there until it triggers them all. So I find I have a lot less problems when I use limit orders. But what you always got to be aware of, and always remember that if you do use any type of trade copier, always make sure that your trades have all closed, whether it's a stop or whether it's hit your profit. And I always keep these two tabs down here, my orders and positions tab. And after every trade, I always right click there, click cancel orders, right click there and make sure flatten everything is in grey, is faded out. That way, if anything, and it does happen from time to time, if anything's left, you make sure you shut it down and you won't go far wrong there. You may make a tick or two, you may lose a tick or two, but it'll even itself out. So the highest liquidity now is at 28. There's some strong at 20, which tells me there is a possibility we could have a little bit of a range. So 1, 2, 3. Now, if it picks up this liquidity at 21, which is there. So we've gone up, we've once, twice, 3 times. It might not be a bad place to go long. Call that a triple test. 1, 2, 3. Now, if it picks up those buy orders, it shifted to 20. So here, I'm not going to go long unless we hit them. So far, I can't see a break apart from this, but so yeah, around about here, I would much prefer that, but it is a triple test. You can't argue about that, but it's just I'm not a fan of it for some reason. It may trigger above it and then push below it. It hasn't triggered it, so you're okay, but I am sorry, I'm stupid here. So if you have, say, 3 PA accounts, you can only trade all 3 at the same time with a copier, correct? You need some form of trade copier, and what it basically does is you trade one as your lead account, and it literally just writes the information to your others. So yeah, you can only trade one. You can trade them individually, but you can only trade one without a trade copier. And there's 2 available: Apex, which I think they're $150, and Replicanto ones, but there is 10% off I can get. Yeah, I do get a kickback, but you will save 10%. You don't get that with Apex. And my honest opinion, Replicanto is better, but don't take my word for it. You know, ask, there's a bunch of people in here, they all probably some use Apex, but I have used both. I started with Apex. And what I will say as well is the guy from Replicanto was kind enough to let me have a copy of it for free, lets me use a copy for free. But in all fairness, I do mention it, not because I get 10%, because I do believe in it. I've had 3 companies approach me for sponsorship for different bits of software, and if I don't think it's in anybody's interest, I turn it down. Somebody, I forget the company. It was a offered me $400 a month for. It was an indicator for Trading View. And I said, to be honest with you, they wanted me to play 3 1-minute clips. And I said, if I start playing 1-minute clips, I'm going to be putting people to sleep. Because half the people on here don't use Trading View, so I turned it down. Another company with crypto as well, they wanted me to create something. They were offering me $500 a month. And I went, I don't want to do it. People are going to get bored with that. I don't want to shove stuff down their throat. But I put that there, the discount for Replicanto, because they offer it and because I use it and I know it's a valid piece of software for this style of trading, especially when you're trading multiple accounts. So most people will use it. But if I thought it was crap, I'd take away the discount code and I wouldn't use it myself, but I do use it myself. As you can see, that's mine there. There's my lead account and I'm trading this, so you can see I use it myself. If it was shit, I wouldn't use it myself. Now, I'm not saying the Apex one's crap. Some people get on with it okay, but I find it's more problematic. And when you do start trading multiple accounts, it's nerve-wracking enough as it is. So I want an easy option. So what is going on here? Could have leg break leg. Let's have a look. Yeah, liquidity everywhere is feathering off a little bit. Have a look. It's down. Strongest is between 19 and 20, which is there, and above 27, 28, which is around about there. So that might make sense why we're going a bit sideways. Yeah, well, you have to be fast. Flick from one account to another. Yeah, you don't want those headaches. Let's have a look. Yeah, thank you. You're welcome. How many PCs can you use on Replicanto? 1, but you can buy a license for a second one. I believe it's about $35. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it's about $35. I'm pretty sure it's only for one. Yeah, it is. It's for one account. Sorry, one computer. You're only going to have 2 maximum, aren't you? You may have one desktop and maybe a laptop you use if you do any moving around or travelling or something. Okay, the liquidity is quite strong here, so I'd say it's likely we're going to retest this bottom. But it does look like a leg with a possible leg, but we haven't. This is sort of our first break, so we could have leg break leg and then slowly start to move up. But this is our first break of this channel. It's clearly working. We touch there, touch there, touch there, close enough there. It's fitting nice along the backside. It just looks right. So we got leg, leg. Now this could come down. Yeah, the liquidity is at 19, so that will be leg, leg. And that looks like 2 legs down. So then, might not fully come down, but I would expect it 18.5 to 19. So around about there, I'd say. Then I would expect it to then start working its way up. Sometimes the Apex one will reverse my orders. Yeah, I've done that before. If I'm shorting and I bring a stop down, now what will happen, sometimes one won't trigger and it'll sit there. And when you bring your stop down to secure profits and it hits your stop, it changes that one that sat there into a buy order. Now, I've done that myself and I lost $225 on 3 accounts. Now, fortunately for me, if you ever get into a pickle, contact Marion for the attention of Marion at Apex. Tell her it's happened. Now, she was good enough to sort my accounts out. She put my 3 valuations to the previous day. So it can happen. I've not had it happen on Replicanto, but always just check your orders and positions. Make sure they're both killed. That one, I always click cancel orders, and that one just makes sure flatten everything is faded out so you can't press it. And then if you're paranoid like me, you might hit that 3 times, hit that one, spin around in a circle. You'll do all sorts of weird things. Work nice on NQ. Okay, perfect measured leg, 1 leg, 2 leg. Now let's see what happens. Yeah, there is some liquidity around about the 15 to 16. So it's hard to say really what's going to happen. Yeah, there's a bit of buyer. It's hard to say what's going on here. You done, Chris, are you? Have a great weekend, all. Pickle gets you. Yeah. I thought Apex would tell me to pound cent. They're okay actually, but they'll only do it once. If you do it again, they won't help you out. But I had to go to Marion. Someone mentioned it on the stream. I forget who it was now, but I wrote to them first and they said, we don't support it. And that was it. And I'm thinking, hold on a minute. If something's gone wrong with it, how can you say you don't support it? You can't sell someone something and when something doesn't work, you know, go, sorry, we're not interested. Someone told me to watch the videos and I said I watched the videos and nowhere does it say you can convert a sell order into a buy order. It doesn't say that. And if it doesn't say that, then, you know, I don't see how they can hold that up. But some people use it and some people get on with it okay. You know, don't get me wrong, I like Apex. I don't think you can beat Apex. You know, they're always friendly. They're always doing something new. But, yeah, it's just the issue with the trade copy. But apart from that, Apex is the business, really. For a prop firm, no one comes close. They were adamant about helping me. Not helping me happened to me. I tried 2 weeks and thought they would close my account because they were pissed I wasn't giving up. Well, you're well within your rights. Trouble is, what they don't want is some pissed off guy on their books because, you know, it's quite easy with someone, you know, we're all, especially with social media, we're all connected to social media now. You can cost them potentially a lot of money, you know, Trustpilot, you can write if you're unhappy about something. So my experience with Apex is that they're pretty good. I've never had a problem with them really. I managed to get that sorted out with Marion. But if you do have an issue and, you know, just mention it, it's not explained in the videos and then try messaging Marion. But apart from that, you know, I've been with Apex now for over a year and I'd never go anywhere else. You can't beat them. They're always doing new deals and offers and, you know, they're always coming out with weird and wonderful ways of helping traders. And I kind of like that. 2 important things about having a business is the ability to make consistent money and keep your customers happy. And they seem to do well at both. Okay, so we've had that 2 pushes down. Now we're getting a little bit of sideways here. So I'd expect to come back to the EMA. Liquidity has dropped up here, so can't see if there's been any type of a break there. In fact, yeah, I've gone from here. You may argue there has been a break. I think it's I'm not sure really. It's good to err on the side of caution. I'd rather give it time to work down if we have had a break rather than be looking for long straight away. Let's see if we get anything from Mac yet. Ah, it's Friday, isn't it? Oh no, he still does the mid. He still does the charts, doesn't he? Yeah, I'm not convinced we've had a break. It's not. Yeah, we have had one from him. Let's have a look. Hopefully it's recently because it might contain this then. Yeah, okay. Right, okay, so let's get rid of that. Max got is like that. From there. How far has he got in there? He's got that one in there. 22. Yeah, he's got his like that. And like that. Yeah, I like that. So in that case, we have Max got that and that, and he hasn't got it. It'd been nice of him to hang around for 5 minutes. So it's hard to say really, because you could adjust it so many different ways. I mean, the slight adjustment down here makes a massive difference up here. So you could say this is the first break. In fact, I'd argue that that looks just as good. We've come off here and we've come off there fine. We've come off here, we've pushed up, struggled a little bit. Push back, it does look like it's going to push up, make a new high, doesn't it? There was a failure there. Trouble is, I'd only run back to the EMA and there's not really much there. So, liquidity at 20. Yeah, some at 23. So yeah, I'd say it's not going to get much higher. 22. 25 is the highest I can see, which is around about the high. Okay, push up. This does look like it's having another attempt to push up, doesn't it? So 25 is about the highest I could see, so I can't really see any other offerings in there. You may have taken that one. Something about it I didn't like, but it worked. Nothing really there. Sideways, you may have taken that one. That was probably the best looking one and it worked, but I wouldn't say a great setup. Not much elsewhere. This is 50k Apex, correct. I've got 3 of them on the go at the moment. Okay, there's liquidity 11, which is right there. Okay, pushes down. Maybe that is a break. We've had a new high. Does seem like it. Let's put that back there. Let's say we've had a break with a new high. Try go once, try go twice. Liquidity strong at 11, which I just mentioned. So look at that. So let's have a look. Leg. Maybe we've made a break. Maybe we haven't. It's hard to say. I'm a bit on the fence there. It fits just as nice either way, to be honest with you, and it actually fits a bit better there, doesn't it? Yeah, a bit on the fence there. See what happens after this leg, Taylor. You sometimes will do this. I mentioned this yesterday. Sometimes we'll come out these trays and go leg, and push up. Other times we have 2 good pushes down and then slowly start working. Sometimes we break high quicker, but lately it does seem to be a lot sort of slower and more methodical. Channel this big would take an obvious break, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, that's certainly a break. Trouble is, it doesn't matter whether you put that line from there to there. It doesn't make the channel look any different. In fact, you'd argue if we were coming from here, I can't see a problem with how it fits there. So it's hard to say, and I wouldn't call that a definitive break, really. Although maybe some people think it is because they've shorted there, but I don't know. Let's leave it there. I mean, we've had 2 legs down. Let's see if we can push back, start pushing back out above the EMA and making sure we're not in a down channel. No, that's not good anyway. So that liquidity, 210, there's some more at 210. Liquidity's dying out up here. 16, 17, so I don't know. The liquidity is dying up here, which is telling me maybe maybe we're continuing down. In fact, liquidity's dried up quite a lot, really. I'd say there's more buy orders down here, which could be take profits. So we may have. Oh, excuse me a sec. I'm just going to let my dog in. He's whining outside the door. I don't. It's a measured leg. Yeah. To be honest with you, though, the liquidity is really drying up. The strongest I can see is around there, so it may. Trouble is, when you get these 2 legs down after a big uptrend, you don't know whether we're going to continue up or down, so it's hard to know what to do at the moment. It's not clear for me because I'm not 100% sure that was a break. I don't think it was. I think it's too measly for a break. This is more like a break, in which case, generally, you would expect it to push higher. Now, just because there's not as much liquidity up here doesn't mean aggressive buyers can't see an entry here and start buying. So liquidity's strongest I can see is there. Apart from that, I can't see much else really. Nothing strong anyway. So sunny. Let me have a look. You can use fib place today's highs. Level. So maybe we're coming down halfway or something. Let's have a look. You go from lows or highs. I don't think it matters, does it? Okay, so we've come down to this area here. I don't think it makes it. I don't tend to use it much anymore. I use it a little bit with crypto. I don't think it matters if you do it the other way, does it? No. Oh, well, yeah, I suppose it does, is it? Let's have a look. 315, 4315. Yeah, I don't fully understand anymore. I've used it for 50% pullback, stuff like that. Excuse me. Okay, possible second entry short. I don't know at the moment. I don't know whether we're going up or down. Let's get rid of that. You didn't like the second entry long at 36, 4316. That one there? No, I didn't. I mean, it clearly worked Trouble is, just a bit congested there, see, and I can see this strong liquidity down here, so I don't know whether it's going to push up a few ticks and come down, because I wasn't sure whether that, and to be honest with you, there was a possibility we could have ended up having something like that, and that kind of fits, do you know what I mean? In fact, I suggest it was like that, and we had a break, so going along there in that uptrend would have been risky for me. Obviously, it worked, but I'm a bit unsure whether we've had a break, and we've made a new high, or whether we haven't had a break and we're going to make a new high, but that little channel fits there. But yeah, it's a bit congested. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 bars stacked up there, and it's hard to know what's going on. And what I found is there'd have been a time where I'd have taken that one, because you can say, yeah, it's second entry long, but the context is that we may have made a new high already, so maybe coming down, and it's congested. So for those reasons, I tend to not take them now, and I found I have a better strike rate. I take less trades, but I win more. And the more you win, the less you lose, the less stress you have. So it's as I mentioned earlier, much better to do 1 trade a day than take 3 with a loss. You do 3 trades, win 2, lose 1, you're less off financially than just doing 1. Because you win 1, you lose it, you're even minus fees. You win 1 again, so you're 1 up minus 3 lots of fees, as opposed to waiting for 1 good setup and you're 1 up minus 1 lots of fees. So you're better off, and it's a lot more stressful taking 3 trades. Best sit there and just find 1, and then when you get 1, unless you see something absolutely perfect, leave it at that. You know, I've had people telling me for the last 2.5 years, don't overtrade, you take too much, don't overtrade, and now I'm starting to sit back and wait for better trades and taking less of them. I'm getting a better strike rate, and it's making perfect sense. So there is a second entry short there, which is triggered. Now, we've had 2 legs down there, measured legs, so depending on whether you're on the school that we've had a break or we're pushing higher, liquidity is strong at 28, which is around about here. So that tells me let's move them out of the way. The school of thought is there are some traders thinking we're going to get up here. Let's have a look. Some liquidity, its 10 is there still. So let's see if this comes down, or see if it triggers and pushes up. 1 leg, 2 leg. I'm a bit unsure and a bit unclear exactly what's going on. $14.56. Oh, you're talking about time. That one there. I had my channel slightly different there. Yeah, it's not a terrible trade. It's just something about it I don't like. Sometimes I just have a certain picture in my head. It looked a little bit congested, maybe big bearish bar there. Yeah, sometimes I think what you'll find is when you have lots of losses and things go wrong over the time, you build up this little pattern in your head. And I mentioned yesterday, have you ever driven somewhere 5 years ago and you've driven there again, and you might have only seen it once, but something triggers something. And if I get that feeling that something doesn't look right, I'll leave it alone now, and it tends to work. It works out okay. But it was definitely a second entry long. Off the key entry point. I don't know, a little bit of a stem there, big bar next to it. Something didn't feel right. Okay, so there's a failure there. I'm still unsure whether we're going up or down at the moment. We've had 3 now, pushes lower. Let's have a look. Liquidity's at 28, and there's also strong at 10, so I don't know what's going on here. I'll break out lower, second entry long EMA. Break out lower. I'd say there's probably going to be some shorts there in the second entry, and it might go up. I'm just a little bit unsure, so I'm staying out. I want to be sure. I only need to take 1 trade a day, so I've got plenty of time left, but we've made 3 lower highs now, see? So if you go long there, now it's triggered and this is starting to come down, I'll be kicking myself. Why didn't I wait? It doesn't feel right. We may have had a break. I'm I'm not 100% convinced we are, but let's put that a bit on it. So look, we've made a series there, and now there of lower highs, which is telling me I just need to be aware that we may be coming down. But really, in the bigger scheme of things, we've just had 2 legs up until now, so I just want to give it a chance to come down again, and then if it does break out, comes back and retests, then I'll be thinking new highs. But something just doesn't feel right. It's a little bit, there's some traps there. If you took that short there, it's triggered. If you took that long, it's triggered. If you took that short, lower high, it's triggered, and so it could go up or down here. But someone's going to get shafted because it's made 4 attempts there to go lower, and that's triggered. So it may come down, but then you may have taken the failure and you triggered, and you may get stopped out, and you may have taken the 1 leg, 2 leg, second entry short, which is triggered, and you might get stopped out. So I don't know what's going on. All I can see is that stronger area is liquidity around about 19, which is here, and around about 10. So it's a bit uncertain. Although we've had 2 legs and we're slowly working, you have to take into consideration that we have made a series of higher lows, of lower highs. From what I can see now, though, if it breaks above here, then I think we're going up. See what I mean? It's a bit, what do you do? It's a little bit congested because there's some uncertainty because of the trade. There's 3 trades there. There's a short, a long, and another short. Second entry short, failed second entry short, lower high. There's some at 28, which is around about here. Some at 19, which is here, so it may trigger out these 2 shorts and then come down. And there's strong around 10. So it's a bit dangerous area to trade, in my opinion, this is. Okay, if you took that, so there's a failed second entry long, you triggered. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 possible trades there. So whatever it does, up or down, I think it'll do it quite quickly. But what we have to be aware of is we have made a series of lower highs, so you have to keep that in mind. We've also only made 2 legs, and we could go higher. And also we're making series of higher highs here, 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 here. I'd say it's probably more likely going to push up than down at the moment, but I wouldn't bet on it. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break. I'm going to go and make a cup of tea and let this sort itself out. I don't really want to get involved in this anyway, so let me just pop that on, and I'll be back in 5 minutes. Interesting. Okay, let's forget that then and say we're moving up. So it's one leg down, two legs down. Let's have a look. Liquidity is at 28 up here. So from what I can see, I'd say we're going higher. So the high of the day is there, and the strong liquidity is at 28.25. So let's get it right. 28.25. So see if we can get a decent trade off here. So one leg, two leg. Okay, so it's a perfect measured leg. So I'd say that's a break. Perfect, and we're clearly pushing up. I can't see a range, anything like that. It's just clearly pushing up, but just risky to take there. It's got to come back here, really. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, there's nothing we can do. Liquidity at 23. 28's the biggie up here. So there's plenty of room, potentially. So if we can get a decent setup here. What have I missed? Failed breakout lower, second entry long on the MA. The failure, I think, was okay. That worked, didn't it? Trouble is, I just wasn't sure what was going on because I didn't know whether that was a potential break or not. Max got it marked there, see, so in which case that would be a break, but obviously he finished his trades here, so with this he may adjust it. But he'd finished by then, see, so all moved on. I secured my bag across accounts. Would hate to lose it, so I'm going to start an early weekend. Good for you, mate. Yeah, good on you, Breck. Good on you, mate. Yeah, if you can start the weekend with a nice... If I can get a nice trade, I'm going to finish early as well. Or if I can get a trade, so if we can get a second entry long somewhere. Yeah, I'm going to finish early as well. Now, there is a bit of liquidity around about 19, which is here, so hopefully we may get a leg and a leg. A little push down off the key entry point, that'd be beautiful. And I'll go long there. And as I think this is the area we're moving up to, I may decide to take a few more points. So... touch, touch, touch. Trouble is, these trades, I've gone into these trades before thinking, okay, let's go, and it'll trigger it and then come straight down, so you've got to be so careful. In fact, actually, I could probably tighten that down there a bit and bring it down to a slightly different angle. That looks a bit better. There we go. Touch, touch. That's better. Touch, touch, touch. Yeah, okay. Showing downturn in the cards. I know what you're saying, mate. The strongest liquidity I can see is here, which is just making a new high after this. But yeah, there doesn't seem much more above this. Short of 4322. 4320. Oh, here you're thinking about going short here. Yeah, I can't at the moment, just in case. Because I know a lot of the times with our strategy, we'll have a break of this trend and then make a new high. So 43.22. Let's put a mark there just in case, see what happens. 43.22, that's there. See if it works. Broader market's not bullish. The New York Stock Exchange took an advance decline, showing downturn in the cards. See, from what I can see is I think we're going to push up and make a new high. Whether we hit this or not, I don't know. So going short here just might mean a couple of pushes down to, you know, if he's short in there, he's made a couple of points. So if he's shorted there, so straight away he'll have pocketed 3 points there. So that worked for 3 points. So this is hard. Look at this. When I said, let's see if he gets to 10, I was kidding actually, but he's not far off there. Now, this is key, isn't it? Because this is a second entry long. See how this goes. But it made me a bit nervous, so it's hard to know what really. But I mean, if it does sit above there, bullish, and it fitted in there nice, I can't see a problem with it. Let's see what happens. See how it goes. Okay, that's no good. The thing is, now we have a break, and a lot of the times we'll make a new high, but sometimes we won't. Now we've pushed down, haven't we? We pushed up, we tried to go high once, another leg down, and we tried to go higher a few times, and we've struggled. So okay, so we've struggled to break this area here, haven't we? So we've come down, we've tried once, tried 3 times. In fact, 1, 2, 3, you could call that a triple test. And it's pushed down, so liquidity around about 210 still there's some there, but there is this stuff up here, so maybe looking at these, maybe we might go sideways a bit, but I'd like to think we're going to make a new high. Oh yeah, 5 points yet. I'd like to think we're going to make a new high after this channel, but there's no guarantees. In fact, let me just... Okay, I'll go with that because it touches perfectly on the back. Touch, touch, touch. See what happens. So Harji over the last 4 days, 3 days, 4 days, has mentioned, I think mostly shorts actually, he's mentioned a short to short at a certain area, and he's got it right 7 times out of 7. So straight away off the bat, that's a but you can clearly see he knows what he's talking about. When we know he's been trading for over 20 years. So if he gets to 10, we're going to have to seriously figure out where he lives and secure him somewhere. Because he's making him, every time he gets this right, he's making himself more and more valuable. So we've had this channel up here, we've had 2 legs down, and we are slowly moving up. Now, just because Harjit mentioned a short that worked doesn't necessarily mean it can't go back up. It may do, or it may come down. It's hard to say, but all he basically was saying is short up here, and it's clearly come down for 5 points, maybe a touch more from this area to 4, I'd say, yeah, best part of 6 points. So we may continue down. I mean, so many times I've seen a break from this channel, and I've been looking for every tiny little area to go long, believing it's going to go long, and all of a sudden sometimes it'll just come tanking down. You know, we expect a new high when we have a break of a channel, you know, in our strategy, but the channel's a little bit, you know, all over the place. There's no guarantees. We haven't had a break in a new high, and all this stuff could be sucking longs in. You just don't know. I think his stop loss is 3 points, in which case it would be probably somewhere around about just under this line there. But yeah, sometimes I've been convinced we have to make a new high. Well, usually we do, but we don't always. And sometimes the more it tries and the more it fails, sooner or later, buyers just might give up and all of a sudden, down she blows. So, and if you listen to the the penguin guy, you'll go, we've had a push up, we've had a break of this channel, we've had 2 legs down, we've made 1 attempt to go higher, a second attempt to go higher failed, and then we come down. So we just don't know whether we're going to push up, and it's a bit unclear to me at the moment. 3 points, yeah. So his stop will be around about 3 points and about there. So if he's made, what did you make? 5 points there. That's more than 1 to 1 that, and more than 1 to 1 even at 70%. It's not a bad strike rate. It's all that really. Maybe starting fell break at the range on the daily. Yeah, it's just hard to know at the moment, but I suggest the more times it does try and go higher, more chance it's got a failing, but it's struggled. We've had this break, sort of 1, 2 legs down, but look at this now, see? Liquidity's down here, so push down, made 1 attempt. We may make another attempt to go higher, I don't know. But at the moment, I know there's this liquidity up here, but it could be a break, 1, 2 attempts to go lower and then push up. It's hard to say at the moment, but as we mentioned, was it Harjit or Sania mentioned something else was oh yeah, Harjit, broader market is not bullish. New York Stock Exchange tick an advanced decline showing downturn on the card, so this might be, you know, a couple of legs down, few attempts to go up, and then all of a sudden down she comes. Yeah, there wasn't nothing mega obvious. I think the thing is with that trade there, it sort of looked like a bit of a channel to me. But what you could have, let me just make it a bit bigger. It does look like a channel, but what you could say is there's a little bit of a micro trend coming there. So we've had that push down. That probably would make more sense. We've tried to go higher, We've had 1 leg down, we've had to break a new low. When you think about it like that, it's not too bad. But I think I had my channel drawn slightly different, so I don't know why I didn't take that, but that doesn't look like a bad trade now, actually. We've got this little micro, we're going to break a new low. I can't even remember what I was thinking when I was looking at that. I don't know. Sideways. Tiny risk. Not a fan of the small ones. Sometimes they just don't work. But then that nice bullish bar. But you might have gone long there. Off the key entry point. EMA starting to face up. Push over sideways. Usually when we have that push and go sideways, we end up pushing again. But it's just finding that right bar to take. But that one wasn't bad, I think. Once it started to go, I suggest the penguin guy would take that, and what he'll do in a lot of cases, let it start to move, and then he'll maybe take a 15 tick risk and then accommodate it with a 15 tick profit. So okay, so more liquidity at 10, in fact 10.25, which is a fraction above that, and it's right on there. So we've had this breakout. We've made 1 or 2 attempts to go lower. Once pushed up, a second attempt. Then I think now after this, if we can get a push up of this, I then expect that to push higher. Solante, there was an uptrend and 2 legs to a new high, measured legs. See, Mac had his chart like that. In which case, I mean, I can see 2 legs. In which case, there's a small break. Depending on where you drew that from. In fact, you may draw that from there, bottom of there. I don't know. I don't know. Mac had his like that. He finished his trade here. Tanking down anyway, so. Well, so any thoughts of going higher? I think it's probably unlikely now. Liquidity is all dropping. There is still some up here. 98. There's some down here now, so There is some at 97.5, say 98 on average, which is around about here. So, and as Harjit mentioned, the broader market isn't bullish. In fact, yeah, see what I mean about that? Sometimes I'm that convinced it's going higher, you might go long there, you might go long there, second entry, you might go long there, and all of a sudden, wham, and I've seen it before, I've been stuck in these trades, and I've seen it before, you think, oh, I'll take a trade here, maybe go off here, maybe go here, thinking we're going to be pushing on, all of a sudden it just drops, 5, 10, 15, about 20 points. Easy 20 points if you... Yeah. Well, you did say go short there, didn't you? And look at that. So, good for you, mate. I wouldn't have expected that, to be honest with you. You held it 20 points. Yeah, what a nice runner. 303, which... 302.75, 303... So around about there. Push down. I'd suggest it's definitely going to push back to the EMA at least. 308. There's some which is around about here. 308. Some shorts here, so we may come down. Yeah, so that's come down. It's around about 50% of that, but what Penguin also said, he was looking for a short to test the overnight highs, which were, I'd say, see, your overnight highs are different from us. So, yeah, see, that's like the middle of the afternoon for us. So he's looking for a short to run about here, and that happened. So I suppose really you would call your overnight highs around about here, wouldn't you? Somewhere around about the open, I suppose. There's your lows. You class them as your highs. It depends. That's 11:40 in the UK. Well, maybe, I don't know, 10:30 in the UK. So overnights is probably your overnight highs. Maybe those. So I thought that might have been a leg and a leg. Now let's see what happens. So there's some liquidity at 7. But not a lot up there. That's still there. So he had it at 43.02. 302, which is, yeah, where more or less where that liquidity is. So yeah, I suppose you'd call them your overnight highs thereabouts. I'll tell you what, Harjit, I don't know whether you're interested or not, but I'd be seriously thinking about maybe a YouTube channel for you. I know people like the Gorilla guy charges $100 per month. I think he has about something like 120 people, something like that, paying that. I mean, by the same things, you've been trading 10 years, 20 years, you're going to make a lot more money than that, but, you know. Just goes to show, if you've got a skill like yours and you've got a lot of experience, you clearly do well at it. But the trouble is, when you get to that position where you're making a lot of money, you might not want the hassles. You know, one of the beautiful things about trading is you've got the freedom to just do what you want. Whereas if you start like the Gorilla guy, you know, charging people, then you technically you're forced every day to trade, and you may just one day decide you want to get away for a bit. One leg, 2 leg, 1 leg, 2 leg, 1 leg, 2 leg. Okay, I'd suggest it may come down a bit lower. Yeah, you can clearly see it, can't you? leg, break leg, measured move. Same again, leg, another measured move, measured move, measured move. I'd say possibly some of the same. Just goes to show how accurate these legs are. Oh, it is amazing. Yeah, I got 6 points shorter with him. Good on you, mate. I mean, if it's working, if you set it 7 times and it's working 7 times, what more can you say? You can't argue with it. It's not luck. He told us before it was going to happen. If it gets us to 10, I'm ditching back. No, not interested. No, I don't blame you, mate. Stick around here and help you guys. Absolutely, mate. We appreciate you. We clearly do. You've got your own little name badge on here, mate. We'll put you on here somewhere. We'll cut you in somewhere. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice to know that the more experienced guys help the less experienced guys, because I suppose, like us, Harjit, you've been a new guy. I mean, I've been trading 2.5 years, so in the grand scheme of things, it's still very early days for me. But you know, you'll have been through all the tough times, and it's nice to know that guys like you have got time to hang around and help us out. But what I might start to do, with your accuracy, what I might start to do is maybe, if you do get something like that, I might drop to a contract and just have a go at one. We'll see. See if you get up to 10. But if someone's telling us trades and they're getting them right, you know, 7 times in a row, that's not a fluke. And usually when you add let's go, it tanks. It's done it before, and there's no other word from that but tanking, is there? What do we come down from there? In fact, it was there, wasn't it? 5, 10, 15, 20. Realistically, you were a bit above there, talking 23 points, and it doesn't look like it's finished. There's a leg and a break. There's quite likely another leg. What'd be nice if we can find a channel there to short if we get a break from it. Okay. I do like these big channels sometimes, because when we have a couple of legs up, we almost always make a new low. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice for an experienced guy. He obviously makes a ton of money and he doesn't need to hang around with the likes of us, but it's nice that people take the time to help you out. Because it is tough when you start. Harjit will have been through it all before. So we appreciate him. Liquidity at 98. It is stalling a bit now, so maybe we're going to get a little bit of a pullback. 04, there's some. Let's get that out of the way. Be nice to get a couple of legs up to the EMA and then down some more. 98. The liquidity is strong, which is there. So let's have a look. There is some more selling at 02 and 03. So if we can get a couple of legs up here, there might be a nice short there. How low could we go? We certainly could come down here, couldn't we, and retest the overnight? Oh well, depends on what you call the overnight highs, but I don't know, mate. You're gonna have to ask him. What style of trade are you, Harjit? Okay, so we've got back to the EMA, but it's one channel, so 4 touches. Use volume profile. There you go. I'm assuming to be trading the ES like us. Okay, so small churn channel. Some selling at 307, which is here. So Look at that. Got to hit that nail on the head again. Look, straight down. Okay, 307 I can see is the strongest liquidity apart from 3 up here. So 307, so that's about there. So leg, break, leg, and then maybe slowly down again. Who knows? See, there is a possibility I've got this channel wrong and we've had a leg down, then we've had a break in a new low, so it may be going up higher. So I've got to be careful. Now, the strong liquidity is around about here and here, so I'd like to see it come down, but I'm not sure it will. 307, some strong sell orders. Fibonacci to bounce at 4,300, and it did. Whether it will come down. I'd like it to hit 307, which is about there. We got leg. If we can hit that and then maybe start to work down, then I expect a new low. See there, maybe it's got different ideas. There's the overnight highs. See, so it has hit the overnight highs. So leg, break, leg.
Order submitted. Order canceled. Order submitted.
So,
Order submitted. Order canceled.
okay, there's some liquidity, which it's picking up around about there. So yeah, it could have that and a break in a new low, in which case it's moving higher. I'm not sure whether to add this or not. It's hard to say, really. I mean, it sort of works both ways, doesn't it? Push down. Around about there. Liquidity, so we pushed up once, pushed up again, pushed up 3 times. Who knows? bit that's concerning me is most of the liquidity is higher than this, which means if we do find a short, it may not come below here. In other words, it may be something like that. Liquidity there, and somewhere around about the 302 here. So there's nothing that shows me it's going to push below here. So that's what's making me a bit nervous about going short. So maybe we've hit our lows, we've bounced off the overnight highs. So maybe we'll work it in this area now. Let's get rid of these. Let's put them over here. Okay, so we got this area up here, which we know about. 0708. So it may be push up, break new high, eat up those sell orders, maybe profits from longs here, and then come back down. It's hard to say at the moment. I don't know. Oh, don't forget, it's last day on Monday for the 80% off. You've got the rest of the day and Monday. Midnight Eastern Standard Time on Monday. So, as you know, my code's down there. If you do use it or you have, it's appreciated. But I don't think it'll be long before they have it on again. They seem to have it on more than not now, so. Okay, so, first entry. Yeah, there's not a lot of liquidity up there, so I'd say there is a fair chance. We've hit it once, hit it twice, there is a fair chance this could come down. Was it Harjit mentioned the overall trend isn't bullish? I think Bookmap does very similar to volume profile, doesn't it? I don't know. I mean, I'm finding massive help here. I always can see these big areas of liquidity and these buys and sell orders, and these areas where these large, and there's some compressed version of it. You can see the bigger, stronger red areas. So this is helping me no end. Bookmap is. It's helping me take better trades, and it's helping me stay out of trades as well. Stay out of bad trades. So volume profile. I think isn't that like a friend of mine used to use it. What's it called? The GOM, GOME. It almost shows like bars, but with the orders within the bars. I don't know. Second entry short now. It's hard to say, mate. Really. Bookmap is based on volume profile. Yeah, it does give you some useful areas of where money is, and it's helped me no end for sure. I mean, there's strong buy now, which is pushing up to this liquidity area. The strongest liquidity is at 2.8. So if it hits that, if you're going long from the bottom, that's where there'll either be profits taken, or there'll be people going, or traders going, okay, if we get back up to the top here, I'm going to put a sell order in because I think we're going down. So it could be either or. But for me, the stronger liquidity now is starting to appear below, which is telling me I think we may push down some more, but it's not really clear at the moment. There's some at 3.5, and there is a dollop at 2.8, which is just around about where these lows are. So it's hard to say, but we've had a short-term trend channel break, new high, but could be going back up. I don't know. I'm a little bit unsure at the moment. It's a little bit chippy-choppy, isn't it? It could push up. We could have had, there almost could be a couple of legs with a little bit more and then moving back up. It's hard to say. Bookmap is based on volume. Yeah, that one. Okay, so I think you've got to be careful there. Now, 1, 2, 3. You could say that that's a triple test. I don't know how you guys think about that, but let me have a look. 1, 2, 3. It's just something about it I don't like at the moment. I'm a little bit unclear. Bookmap is a little bit unclear for me, so you could call that a triple test. I'm not going to take it because I'm not. We got up once, twice, 3 times. I don't know. EMA's facing up a bit. I don't know. I'm just a bit nervous, and it has triggered. If we get a lower high, then maybe get me in a bit. But it's just making me a bit nervous. So there's some buying around about the 3-4, so it may come down a bit and push higher, so it may break. May turn into, I don't know, it may turn into something like that. I'm just not sure. I know it's showing me some at 403, so I don't know what's going on there, but I'm not a fan of that. Something's making me nervous about it. Your friend was using, how is it, footprint charts? I think that's the same thing, isn't it? Volume profile is just volume. I wonder when you were going to show yourself. Yeah, I was talking about you. You used to use a few different things, didn't you? You used to use Delta. There was a few things you used to use. Yeah, you can see that's triggered and it's pushing up. That'd be making me nervous, that. I don't like that. Something about it I don't like. EMA's facing up. I think it's probably safe to assume that we've had a break and a new low. It's a safer option, I think. I'm not saying it's not going to come down, but we have tested the overnight highs. So I hope it comes down for your sake, whoever's in that, because there's bound to be some short in that. But the way this is pushing up like that, I think it's dangerous. So there's a failed second entry short there. And for me, unless it bounces and comes back down a third time, I think that's going higher. Data that every trader should know. Yeah, I see, stuff around YouTube and that professional traders saying you need more than just the bars. Now, it works for Mac, but he's been trading it for 27, 28 years, and he only trades a scalp. And he's very good at what he does. So, it's not to say you can't get by without it, because it clearly works for him. But I think, like Arjit says, things like bookmaps based on volume profile, but it does give you a bigger overall picture. All we can see at the moment is what's happening right now. You can't see what's happening above this or below it. We can just assume that maybe this is coming down, or, but if you've got the ability to see what's above it or below it, if you've got, a bunch of guys outside your window with cash saying we're going to buy, that helps you. So let's see how this finishes, but it's clearly sideways. So I do get that impression that it may be working down. See how this finishes, but it's definitely congested. So, okay, we've gone up once. Even if you forget that, we've gone up twice, we've gone up 3 times. Maybe that's down. But the EMA is slightly tilting up. And we've had a push up and a little bit of sideways, which could be, that bit of a bull flag we should talk about. Push up, a little bit of sideways, and then up again. And there is some liquidity up here, so I'm not a fan of that one. Use edge procs. Take a photo of that, just out of curiosity. I always like to have a look what's going on. Where are you? Oh, there we go. How are you getting on, Marlon, today? You taking anything today? I've had nothing today, which I'm happy about in a way, in a strange way, because I'm my patience is starting to pay off. There's only really one I can see there. I didn't take that one. I don't quite know why, but we got a little leg down, a little micro and a break and a new low, and it's clearly off that key entry point. So it worked out as a good trade, that. Okay, so we've had this channel, we've had a break, a couple of attempts to go higher set. Might come down. I'm just a bit nervous. Okay, it's starting to look like it, isn't it? It's just a bit congested. Yeah, I can't take any of them. It's just clearly sideways. As much as I'm tempted, I've given up doing that. It just does not work. The only way it works is if you wait for a proper setup, nothing more, nothing less, and take it. Anything less, anything second hand or not that good or okay or it's not too bad, I just walk away from now, and I get a better results. My mental health is better because, you know, we all know how trading can mess with your head a bit. And I've had days where I've walked away from the screen and I literally could have cried. I feel physically sick. It's horrible. Hate feeling like that. And for about 4 or 5 days now, I haven't done anything stupid and I seem to be making better choices. And I feel so much better. And my trading has been a lot more enjoyable because I'm sitting waiting for good trades. As I mentioned earlier, much better to take one good trade a day than to take 3. A winner, a loss, and a winner. You end up actually worse off because of the fees. So I think you'll almost always find one good trade a day. And then if you happen to find that one I took yesterday, there was another one in the afternoon, a higher low, which I hesitated and it went off. Another great trade. I could have done 2. So you'll always get 1. Sometimes you'll get 2, but I've just given up rushing. It just does not work. Trying to cut corners, trying to take stupid trades, poor quality trades. And I tell you something now, the poor quality trades are where traps are because they know inexperienced traders are going to take them and you're just going to get shafted. Okay, so there's a possible failure there. Now let me have a look. There is liquidity down at 3.2. Not as low as I'd like it. There is some around about the 98, but it's clear choppy for me. Sure, it's not the ATM one-click trade. No, it's not. How you doing, Mark? How you doing, Mark? I have used it today, actually. As you all know by now, you know Mark Whiting. This is his baby. One-click trader. The link is in the description on all my videos, so if you want to, if you're interested in it, it's a useful tool to get into trades quick. I know people like Daniel and Marco use it. So it's a useful tool. So there are some videos as well. If you follow my link, there are some videos on his website which talk you through it. I mean, I've only just scratched the surface. It'll do a lot more things, but as I say, I've only scratched the surface. So there you go. But yeah, ATM one-click trader description. The link is in the description on all my videos. We've got a new friend here, Mark Hargett. He's from the UK, London. He's been trading for 20 odd years, and so far he's given us 7 out of 0, including that one. And didn't it go? He said to short there, right where that black mark is, and look what happened to Wham. So he's our new guru. So when he gets to 10, we're all dropping our own strategies. We're going to just do what Hargett says. Trading View is very popular. Yeah, I had a company contact me about they wanted me to advertise an indicator for Trading View. They offered me, I think it was $400 a month, but none of us really use Trading View, and they wanted me to play 2 or 3 1 minute, and I just thought it's just going to put people to sleep. No one wants to sit through a minute of advertisement about a bit of software that's that's not related to what we're doing. That does look like it's starting to work down. Shall break, but it's going very slow. There's our failure. There may be some longs in there. Liquidity, I can see the strongest is down here. And there's some at 302, which is making me nervous. Does look like a little channel forming, doesn't it? Yeah, it's going to drop out the bottom there, I think, isn't it? Let's have a look. It's a bit early there. Okay, there's that bit of liquidity there. Okay, so the failure would have made you 2 points. Something about it I didn't like. Okay, so yeah, we've had this now. Whether you put that all in one basket and call it a channel, now we've had a break. It looks like we're probably going to make a new low. I erred on the side of caution and said we've already made a break and a new low, so it could be pushing up, but Harjit mentioned the broader markets aren't bullish, and that would make sense, wouldn't it? Because we slowly start to look like we're feathering down a little bit. I can't see any larger channel there as yet. Sania 43.16, which is here. 43.16, which is about there. So out intraday 43.16 to 24.75. 24.75, 42.75. Yeah. Take a trade around the 40th. Yeah. Okay, so let's get rid of that. So a little bit of sideways there. So obviously that's worked. But for me, it's just a bit congested, and I tend to avoid them now. And I get a better result. But it clearly came down. The liquidity at 98 wasn't that strong. That's what concerned me, because obviously after one of these trends, we like to have a new break, make a new low. But with the liquidity down here not that strong, I thought maybe it's not going to make a break a new moment. Maybe it's going to break out a little bit, suck in some shorts and then continue to push up, which is why I sort of avoided that a little bit. But we haven't finished yet. Let's have a look. Okay, it's thickening out at 98 actually, so maybe it will go down a bit more. Mm. Mm. Oh, interesting. Okay, there's we haven't quite hit that liquidity down there. Okay, so that did work. Going to push a break and a bearish bar. I don't know, something about it I just didn't like. And if I get that feel, I'm quite happy to give it a miss. I don't like the fact, I wouldn't like being stuck sideways there, but you know, once it got a bit lower and there was a second entry short and that triggered, then I thought there was a fair chance that we could come down, and we did. Strong selling. Okay, let's assume this is a channel. We've had a break and now a new low. Guys changed his bookmap stream. What's he got on there now? Put it back. Okay, just trying to see if there's any type of a bigger channel down here. It's a bit early, isn't it? Let's get these out of the way a minute. Okay, I don't think that looks that bad actually. Let's see what happens. Maybe. Touch. Possibly. We sort of pushed down into this bottom tier a little bit, then pushed up. Top tier. Possibly. Liquidity at 43.02, which is just above here. Around about there, so see what happens here. There is a channel there with a break and a new low, so I'm not convinced this is a bigger channel. I just put it there just out of curiosity to just see what we do here. Fits nice on the back, see, so we've got a touch here, touch 3 places beautifully on the back side, so just out of curiosity, let's see what it does there. Okay. You have that one drawn, okay. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad to me. Sometimes it's a bit early, but I put it there just out of curiosity to see what happens when it picks up this liquidity here. Then it may drop back down. See what happens. said it often that when you see the setup, go for it, don't think. Yeah, I agree with that. We had that high low yesterday. Now last week was a bit big in part of the week. I had a couple of trades and I ended up losing them both. So if I get a trade on the board now, sometimes lately I'm getting a bit hesitant to take a trade, which I think it's better to be a little bit on the cautious side than to jump in. But I saw that second entry long, wasn't interested in it because at the time it was a small break. Now when we readjusted the charts after it pushed higher, it fitted, but I waited for the higher low and I thought I'll just let it move a bit, and it pushed and it just kept on going. And that's the trouble with sometimes the really good trades. You know, if it's a really great setup, a lot of people are going to buy it, hence it pushes up quicker. So the really good trades, especially in these markets, if you can get a real solid looking trade, they just keep going. So, you know, on these trending days, when I get a good setup, I'm going to take them for 3-5 points, maybe a few more. I might put my profit at 5 points, and when it gets to 2 points, just bring my stop and secure a scalp, and then just see if I can catch a bit of a move, because these markets do move, and sometimes when you take a couple of points and the thing moves 20-30 points, you do feel a bit cheated, don't you? Okay. Strongest I can see up here is around about there. Now, we mentioned between these areas, there's another guy who streams Bookmap. The good thing, he shows the broader market. New York Stock Exchange ticket advance. I know who's the guy I seen using it? Oh, what's his name? I forget his name. The trouble is there's so many of them, isn't there? What's his name? I've mentioned him on this chart before. Ginger-haired guy, I think. Quite quick talking. Quite sharp. What's his name? I mentioned him a couple of days ago. He shows it, I think. Okay, so we've got a short-term trend channel, a little bit of a break. See what happens now. I mean, that could be a bit of a maybe, could be like that, really, that. Like a spiking channel. Let's have a look. I think that works. Does look like a bit of a quick spike, doesn't it? Touch. What's his name? That'll come to me. Got to be careful, constantly readjusting. Patrick Welland, that's the guy. Patrick Wheeland, is it? Yeah, he comes over as quite a competent sounding guy. I don't know. Trouble is, you don't know whether people show you their real trades or what they do, really. So, scores on the doors. 403, there's still some sells there. Whether they're people shorting here, you would think so. So we've come from here, touched a few times, touched there. Is it a channel? It's a bit early, I think, but I don't think it's terrible. See what happens here if we can get a lower high. Let's have a look. That liquidity is just here. The lowest liquidity, really, the strongest is 98, which is about there. So that's making me think we may come down and bounce and push higher. It's hard to say. I watch options. Never tried options before. Options for Options Millionaire for Bookmap. Never tried options before. So liquidity there. So I don't know whether we're going to bounce and push up again. I'm not convinced that's right now. Trouble is, it's quite easy to maneuver them into place, so they'll more or less fit. Down, push up, down, push up. Break, new low. Okay, so yeah, so this could be this channel down. We've had a break. Trying to go higher a few times and then made a new low, so it could be a push up. and back up to this area. So I'm not convinced we're going lower here. I'm certainly not taking a short here. Pat has just bought a boat. Has he really? I'd love a boat. I love a boat. I did start spending a lot of time on YouTube while there's a few guys that walk you around them and show you the insides of them. I couldn't buy for $20 million. I do love boats, I got to say. We had an inflatable a few years ago with a little electric outboard. Nothing nicer than being on the water, I got to say. But yeah, and there's a guy in the UK as well, slightly bog-eyed. He's got one eye pointing in the other direction. Thin on top guy, lives down on the south coast in Southampton. He's got a boat, 50, 60,000. I think he paid for that, and he travels around the world and looks around these different boats. Interesting. I would love a boat. Some at 3, which is about here. Okay, there's some liquidity there, maybe a fraction above it, and there's some there. So I don't know what's going on here. It might just be that channel. We've had a break, made a new low, and we're making a leg and another leg. I'm starting to think we are going to push up a little bit further. Definitely a slow day today, not a lot of setups. I'm going to get rid of that for now. I'm not convinced. From what I can see here, I would say we got more likely to push up. Ooh. Break through that liquidity. Okay, so now, are we now going to come down, or are we going to push up? Because there is some around here. So, let me just draw this again from the bottom, see if that helps us. I don't know. There. Okay. Yeah, there's not a massive amount of liquidity down here now. Most of it, and I can see it's 4, which is here and up here. So we may have a leg, a break, and another leg. Critical level today, 42.96. Oh, excuse me. 42.96. 42.96. There. Critical level. Okay. Critical level. So, we might test VWAP. Below 43.09, which is up here. And could be a short if it says below. Yeah. Okay, so there is a bit of liquidity around here, and there's some here. So I'd say there's a good chance we're going to have another leg up here. Target from below. My test VWAP from below 39.9. So let's bring that down a touch. So somewhere around about here is where it may bounce and come down, or I would say somewhere around about this target, or a touch higher maybe. Okay, so there's a second entry short there. Let's see if that triggers, and there may be a long there. So I'd say this channel is at a break and a new low. I want it to trigger really to get me any interest. Oh, excuse me. It does look like a little bull flag, doesn't it? Fortunately, it looks like it's going without us. That's which side do you go when you see liquidity on both sides? It depends. If we're in a downtrend and the liquidity is stronger down here, tend to go down, but it's hard to say really. It depends what the market's doing at the moment. And not just that, if you see equals amount of top and bottom, it might just mean it's ranging a bit, but obviously pay attention to where money is, but it's got to coincide with what the market's doing now. Now, what I'll say from here, we're slowly coming down, but after this channel and a break in a new low, the liquidity is strong at 305 and it's strong at 10, which is here. So just with what I can see, I'd say it's likely we're going up, and the liquidity's faded here. But if you're not sure, the simple thing is just stay out, and that's what I do. There's plenty of times where I don't know what's going on and I just stay out. And I have mentioned it a couple of times today. There's equal amounts up here and it's in the middle, so you would think there's two things you've got to worry about. There's liquidity up here, it could go up or down, but also the liquidity is like pending orders or limit orders or profits or stops. But you can also, there's a decisions are made by aggressive buyers and sellers as well. So if this is looking nice and positive, regardless of whether there's liquidity up here or down there, buyers can push it higher or sellers can push it. People who just literally hit the buy button or sell button. Now, if market's going up and sellers are convinced we're having a nice push up, they'll just hit the buy button, or they could just hit the buy button, and that becomes aggressive seller. And they're not when you don't really know about them as such. These liquidity levels are where people have got stops or profits, or orders sort of pending. They're not technically triggered, but people can just hit buy and sell. So if they think prices are going up, or if we're coming down in a really strong market, they could just sell. So that can affect liquidity. Just because there's liquidity there doesn't necessarily mean it's going to hit it. But it's hard to say at the moment, which is why I'm a bit flustered, because it looks like it's coming down, but liquidity is telling me it's pushing up. So the other side of the coin is that we've had this channel down here. We've had sort of a couple of legs, and we've made two attempts to go higher, and we haven't. So then we came down strongly, and we've had a break and made a new low. So now we may be pushing up a bit. Liquidity is up here, so I think at the moment it's likely it's pushing higher, but it's not doing it rapidly, which tells me there's still a little bit of congestion and a bit of confusion as to whether we're going lower, because it does look like we're moving down, or whether we're indeed pushing up to here. So if you're not sure, stay out. That's what I do. And just remember, you only need one really good trade a day to make yourself a stack of money. You take 3 trades, two of them are okay, one of them's crap. You're in a worse position than just taking one good one, because you've got fees to think about as well. You trade 2 contracts, there's $8 fee. Baldur's game in town. So, okay, so possible higher low there. But the trouble is, it may be trapping the longs. Hard to say. Because price does look like it's coming down. See, that channel's had a break and played out. So if I'm thinking about going long, it's hard to say. Liquidity through 5, so it's there. And 10, so yeah, so I'm a bit uncertain at the moment. Baddest. I didn't read you. I read your first one. I thought boldest. I thought, all right, maybe I'm missing something. But okay, so now look. Yeah, I'm unsure what's going on here. I mean, if we push up nice and bullish here, I'd say then there's possibility then we're going to continue up to this area. There is liquidity here anyway, so you know, you may even think this is sort of operating in a range area. It sort of is. Let's have a look. Okay, so put that there. Okay, look, if you put that there, get rid of that for now. Let's drag it out of the way on that. Okay, so top, bottom, top, breakout, in, retest the bottom. So it could be ranging a little bit. I'm not sure I know what's going on at the moment. See, short-term trend channel break new high. So that's played out. Channel break new low. Channel break new high. Yeah, I'm unclear as to what's going on at the moment. And my policy now is if I don't know what's going on, I just stay out of it. Even if it's a second entry or a failure, I just stay out of it. Because experience of blowing account after account and losing trade after trade tells me if you second guess something or you're not sure, it's just not worth it. The risk just goes up dramatically, and the more you lose, the more it messes with your head. When you start taking your time, you start to get better results, and it starts making you believe, and those confidence levels and belief start to climb, and you need belief. You know, we've all read books that say you need to believe that you're good at this, you can trade, because it's such a mind melt, isn't it? There's so many failures, and you know, you need really thick skin. I think it's going to be a day without any trades, I think. To be honest with you, all this stuff's a bit confusing. Not sure what's going on here. They were our only real options. I think the one that someone mentioned earlier. So we've gone sideways, we pushed up there. That was quite a nice bar, would have worked, and that one was as well. But trouble is, at the time, I wasn't convinced I had my channel in the right place. But there was that one, small micro with a break in a new low, and that was bullish enough. That was okay, that was. I left it again because I was a bit unsure what was going on. Long-term targets will come shortly. SPY targets. 374 Nasdaq, Dow. Buy targets, this may come first. Yes. Buy 45 and sell 41. 45. Yeah, okay. I appreciate that. Okay, so we've got a bounce here. In fact, that can go up a touch. Bounce a bunch of times here, bounce a bunch of times, bounce a bunch of times here, bounce again. Maybe a hidden second entry along there. I don't know. It looks like it's coming down to me at the moment. I'm a bit unsure. Okay, so we just had a drop out of that bottom there. Yeah, these are the bottoms I'm giving up picking. Okay, bye for now. Have a nice weekend. You too, Sunny. I appreciate that. Appreciate your comments, bud. Could be false breakout above side. If it fails, fast move down. 4270. It does look like it's working down, doesn't it? Possible a spike with a channel. It's hard to say, really. It's not super clear. I've got a potential channel confirmed. Spike down into it. Yeah, that's what you're thinking about. What I just drew there. Let's put it back for now. Let's go from the tops. Yeah, I'm not massively convinced. I'd prefer another touch at the top and bottom first. Trouble is, if you get them wrong when you make a trade based on them wrong, they can get you into trouble. Let's see how we get on with that. Okay, liquidity 91 and 90. So down here. So there's 91. So with what I'm seeing here, I think it's likely to come down some more. There's some there again appeared. Double bottom. I don't know. From what I can see at the moment, we're clearly moving down. Touch. That we're making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. I'm not convinced that's right. It might not. It might be. I don't know. Sometimes you can just get a feeling something doesn't look right. Hey Sam, how you doing, bud? Let's have a look. Some sells, some liquidity around about 300 here. So maybe. But yeah, Sam says it looks like a double bottom, so I'll be careful going short here because you might get shafted. Nice bearish bar, but not good enough for me. Break 42.80, 42.84. This is done. You think we're coming down? Yeah. Yeah. 42.084. That's down here. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Where's that liquidity? There's some at 300 there. Possible hidden second entry short. Hard to say. Yeah, I just can't go long at the moment with all this clearly working down. I'm not saying it's not going to work, but since here, we're clearly making lower highs, lower lows, which is telling me we're currently moving in a downtrend. Not the neatest looking one, but 301, 302, some liquidity there as well, so in the middle, so may go up to the overnight lows. We're already past that, mate. Oh, go to the overnight lows. I got you down here. Yeah, well, Sally has mentioned down here. I thought you said go up to. I should read better, shouldn't I? I thought you said go up to the overnight lows. Okay, there is some liquidity here, so if we can pick this off, then maybe trying to get down. It does, doesn't it? Now, see if there's a second entry there, maybe a lower high. Liquidity at 301. Must be nice to hit that. And some at 302. Let me take a photo of that, Sam. I like a little bit of reading and studying material for an hour each day over the weekend. I do, and anything new, anything interesting that's going to help me in any way. So I'll take a photo of that. I'll do some more book map studying. It's definitely helped me no end, and I've been using it now for about 2 weeks, and it's helped me stay out of bad trades and give me the confidence to get into good trades. So it's clearly become an important, more integral part of my trading. Hopefully some of you might have got something out of it. I'm suggesting you probably have. It's just having it's just like having a little helping friend there pointing out a few things, isn't it? Somebody experienced. It's like having an extra little Harjit out there just helping us out, covering our asses. Part one is good too. I love looking at them both, mate, over the weekend. I always like to have a little bit of study. Family usually go to bed around about 10:30, 11. Sometimes I'll make myself a nice cup of tea or have a beer, put my foot up and watch it on the big TV. Have a bit of study. Okay, that looks like a leg and a leg. See what happens now. See if it pushes down. Maybe I might be interested in the lower high. See how it finishes. Hopefully it finishes bearish. Okay, so there is still some liquidity there, which is making me a bit nervous about taking that. Okay, it's going to end up a bit. Ooh, that's tempting, isn't it? That's tempting. That's very tempting. Let's get a
Order
sold
submitted.
already, see how it feels. Oh, it's moving quite quick as well. See if it triggers. That is tempting. How big's the bar? 2.75, tick above, tick below. It's about 3-point risk. Ooh, leg down, leg down, leg down, leg down. Not sure about that. Let's see how
Order canceled.
it reacts. I may just jump in with a short quickly. May take a lower high there. It's just, I don't know, something about it that's just not filling me with confidence. I know there's some liquidity just over one, which is there, which tells me that it may trigger and push up. I don't think it will. See what happens. I don't want to just jump in, because what I don't want to do is end up on a red weekend. Okay, that's triggered. See what happens now. Let's give it a chance to move, and maybe we catch it on a limit order.
Order submitted.
Okay, I might have that. Leg down, leg down. Come and get me. Come on.
Order submitted.
Okay. Bit more risk than I wanted, but I'm just going to go for a couple of points. Let's have a look. Bit more risk than I wanted, but there we go. Just going to move that. It's put me off a bit. But there is some liquidity down here, so maybe we'll see. It is trying to push down, no argument there. Come on, push down, you git. If we can get below there, I think we're golden. I'll be out by then. YouTube stream is good enough. Let's have a look. Come on, baby. Push down. One more tick. Come on. Do it for Lancey. Come on.
Order filled.
Beautiful. That's what I like. Now I did the sensible thing there and giving it a bit of space. Now I got for a little bit more risk than I wanted. But sometimes I kind of like watching it move a bit, and then just to give me, because sometimes if you're going to get trapped, it'll usually trigger and then move back on you pretty quick, and I like to give it chance to sort of stitch me up. And then there. But to be honest with you, price is looking bearish. Harjit mentioned overall markets aren't bullish at the moment. It's messy, but it's clearly coming down. And we've got these overnight lows, which I'm guessing are probably going to get down there. It may come a bit more light, but sometimes it's nice to get in and out. Let me just check everything is cancelled. Nothing's moving, so I think we're all good there. Nothing's showing. Oh, cancel. It's probably going to come down quite a bit more, but I'm out for 2.25 points, so I've just stuck $675 in my 3 accounts all ready for the weekend, so that's all good. So everything's working nice. You took that one just for a point. Good on you, mate. It's clearly looking bearish. Now, whether that channel's right or not, I don't know, but it sort of works, doesn't it? I mean, if we start from here, lower, we've got that one leg down. Well, in fact, it looks like there's 2 legs there. One leg up, one leg down, one leg up, one leg down. And a smaller leg up, leg up. You can sort of see it there with the green bar dividing them. You can see it there with the red bar, leg up, leg up. I'd expect a little bit of a pullback and another leg down to this liquidity, which is around about 90 to 92. So I'd guess that it's going to come down here. So it's just nice to get a trade in, and nice to end the week on a trade. So let's pop that there. I like the bar. There was clearly a hidden second entry short there. Mac will call them a hidden, but if you look, it did push above it, come back and pushed again. You can count from the bottoms and the tops. So that's a plus 2.25 points. Now, Depending on how the day's running, depending on how the market's running, if we have a nice strong uptrend, I might go for a few more points. But at the moment, the way things are at the moment, sometimes it's good to get in and out. But I can see this liquidity down here. There was some at 94. Remember I said there's going to be a little bit of a pullback? Pullback. I'd say there's going to be another leg down there, which is going to take us down here somewhere. But it's just nice to get in on a trade. So it's been a good solid week, actually, this week. That's a hidden. Let's have a look. Yeah. Is that right? In second entry short. Plus 2.25 points. It's alright, I'm not a slow typer. I've just got a microphone stuffed in my face. So let's get rid of that now. Get rid of that. So I'm more or less done now. What time is it? Yeah, we're over our time anyway. So let's get rid of that. So happy days. Finished on a high note. That's all you want. If anybody else took that, I'm kind of glad I got out when it did. But I just think this is a pullback. I can see more down, to be honest with you. There is some liquidity up here, but there's more down here. So I'd say it's likely going to have a leg down, pull back another leg. But that's beyond me now. I don't care about that. My job's done. In and out, that's all we want to know. So what software are you using for bookmap on your YouTube stream? Well, Dean, I'm going to do you a solid here, because all I am doing is looking at it live on YouTube. There we go. Just type in bookmap live. Make sure, move that down, make sure it's the ES version, because there's an ES version and an NQ version, and that plays 23 hours a day. So these are, if you don't know anything about it, it looks way more complicated than it is. Later, bro, you done for good. Yeah, I'm sorted today. If you're talking to me, Harjit, I appreciate it, mate. In and out for one nice trade. That'll do me. I'm happy considering what day it's been. So I appreciate all your comments, Harjit, if you're off. And we all appreciate you. You're starting to become a good, solid member of this little community. It's nice to know the more experienced traders are helping us new boys. So I appreciate it, mate. We all do. So have a great weekend, buddy. And hopefully we'll see you back here Monday. So good on you, mate. Good on you. So, okay, what was I talking to there? Lee, who asked me? Dean, what software are you using? Yeah, it's just a free version, mate. It plays live. I believe it's 4 or 5 seconds out, which doesn't make a difference. But all these are little buys and little sells. The bigger the ball, the bigger the sell or the bigger the buy. And these areas of liquidity, the blacker, there's less liquidity. The deeper orange and red, there's more liquidity. So you can see these liquidity levels are slowly bringing this market down, you know what I mean? But these are the areas, these are the amount of orders sitting there, and this is a compressed version of it. So what's up here and what's down there. So you can see there's a lot of liquidity, strong liquidity about 01. There's some up here, there's some down here, and so on. So use it as a bit of a guide, but that just streams free. And that's all you need. That's all I use. And that has added such a lot to my trading. It's really helped me no end. So there you go. So I'm going to photograph my chart for the day. Let's clean up some of this, and then I'm going to go and do one. I'm going to sit in the garden with a whiskey and may even have a dip in the pool. And don't think I'm rich. It's a plastic one, which cost $150. So so there we go. Beautiful. So actually not a huge amount of volume today, really, to be fair. Sometimes I struggle to fit it all in, but I can figure out what's going on there. So yeah, you too, Ryan. So look, done for the day too. Good on you. Yeah, good on you, Sam. Look, guys, I appreciate all the comments. It's a really nice little community going on here, and we're getting some experienced guys who are good enough to come spend their time and help us out. So, you know, I mean, Harjit looks 7 for 7. And not only is he giving us moves, he's giving us bloody great big moves as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, because once he gets up to 10, we're going to have to send in a team and abduct him and and lock him up in a little office somewhere where we get full access to him. But no, I appreciate all your comments. It's been a good day, actually. Nice, solid day. I feel like I'm in a good place. I hope you guys are as well. Let's pop him down here. I hope you guys are as well. Things seem to be going nice for me because I seem to have found a little bit of balance. I'm not rushing now. I'm taking my time. I'm not trying to cut corners. I'm just sitting and waiting. And you know, they say all good things come to those who wait. So 1 in, 1 out, nice and quick. You can tell it was an okay trade because it worked nicely. Sometimes the tougher ones a little bit unclear. Maybe this one go a bit sideways, but then work. So there we go. So happy days. So I am now done for the day till Monday. In fact, is there a holiday? No, it's a week Monday. Okay, keep in mind that Apex goes back up to 50% on Monday at midnight. Now, I have a code down there, as you well know. Doesn't cost you anything extra, but I do get a kickback from it. And if you do use it or you have used it, it is appreciated because with me working weekends, that extra I get covers my trading and gives me a little bit extra. So it does help me out and it enables me... Bloody big wasp, get out of it. It enables me to trade here full time. So I hope, you know, some of the stuff I've done and said is maybe helped you a little bit if you find yourself in the same position. And likewise, a lot of the stuff you guys say as well, I photograph and I take on board, and I appreciate all the comments and any messages I get. It's a nice community now, and I enjoy interacting with all you lot. And hopefully we're all learning together and we can all get better lives and more bloody money. We could all do with more money, let's face it. So that's it for today. I appreciate all your comments. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. And we'll be back on Monday where we'll do it all again. Have a great weekend.